go down. I'm sure a relationship with their new head coach, Alex Golesh, and that's a huge get. And so, I mean, pretty positive day in the American today.
One thing that scares me a little bit for a lot of teams going forward in the college football playoff a year from now, Brave New World.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of expectations. Again, when I talk about the college basketball bracket, every year when they reveal that tournament, there's going to be 68 teams on there.
Yeah, every year.
They're never coming out there and going, this year just really
It's
wasn't enough.
down year, yeah.
We're only going to do 61. Next year at college football playoff time, there's going to be 12 teams.
Yes.
There's going to be 12 teams a year from now. There are a lot of people thinking that's going to be us that a year from now are going to be really mad.
Oh, yeah.
And really disappointed. Some bigger names, some middle names. When I talk about the championship flight and the first flight in the SEC, a friend of mine was telling me today that he went to a Mississippi State wedding last weekend.
All right.
And he said to a person there, maybe not next year, but they expect Lebby to have them in playoff contention.
Wow.
Okay. What is playoff contention?
That's a good question.
Because if you're not
sitting
in,
at 15,
were you really contending?
That's true. I mean, you got to be, I guess, in that range of last 3 in, maybe last 4 or 5 out.
And we're going to have that lingo coming up on bracketology.
Yeah. College football bracketology.
Brian,
get the opening available.
That's what you need to be.
Look, anybody
you need to be the Joey Brackett.
That's right, of college football. Anybody looking to hire a bracketologist for football?
College football bracketology.
I'm out here. No, but I've heard a lot of people, talking for I think good reason of. Well, next year.
You really should start starting now.
I might have to. What we'll do is we'll wait till all the bowls are over. We'll crown a national championship, and then morning after, way too early, 2024 bracketology, and then we'll continue to update it through transfer portal. Brett, that's a great idea. I'm going to write that down.
Because we barely get through with one shiny moment before Lenardi has the way too early.
I mean, it's way too early draft, way too early bracketology right after that.
You got to come out with the 12-teamer way too early, and then the outside looking in.
Yeah, need
to do some work. Got to win some key games.
I'm going to work on that.
And like they do, drag in about 35 to 40 different names.
That's right.
And everybody thinks they're in the mix.
Everyone's in. Well, we're in next year. We're in
play. We're in contention.
Right. That's a good idea. But, Brett, I think there's obviously going to be a lot of talk around that, 12 and 11, who's the last one in. But let's not forget, when it comes to Group of 5 teams, I think that's also going to be one that a lot of people have a lot of debate about, because you go back to just this year and SMU wins the American. I mean, exactly. I mean,
you could have your Group of 5 over there kind of standalone.
We have a Group of 5 ranking of just like, here are the 5 teams that could compete for the Group of 5.
And imagine the Twitter battling out.
Oh yeah,
between like this year, with Liberty, with SMU.
Exactly.
Tulane will be saying, did we really lose enough to just fall off the map?
Well, exactly, because I mean there was a legit argument this year of a Liberty team that was undefeated, but you look at strength of schedule, they were one of the worst strength of schedules in the country against an SMU team that won the American, playing some good opponents, and that argument was something this year because it was a New Year's Six bowl game. But next year, when you're talking about being a part of the actual playoffs, that argument is going to be 10 times. I mean,
and what I'm scared it will get to is that's going to pacify a lot of people for a couple of years, and then I think they'll be on to it.
Sure.
Even in this newest transformational times, we're really still just going to the Tangerine Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like you've been saying all week, Brad. I mean, this current playoff format, the way it is for 1 year, and I don't think we're going to get any further than that.
I think after next year, the non-Power 5 gets X'd out.
I hate that, but I think you're right. I mean,
you're going to have to gather up in one of these existing conferences.
Got to, yeah. And I could see that because, I mean, when you're looking at, and I hate to say this, but college football playoffs and ESPN looked at Florida State and said, we don't think that you are good enough for television without Jordan Travis.
So James Madison
Madison Liberty, SMU, Tulane, they don't look good for television. If they can get who would be a team that would be in that 13-14 range, if they can get Ole Miss, Missouri, if one of those teams is right outside.
Tennessee last year.
Tennessee, perfect. If they can get Tennessee versus Ohio State or something
it's
like
magic
that.
for TV.
It is. And so I think you're right. I think we have 1 year of it and it's all fun, and I think all of the media people get together and say, we could do without that group of five teams.
And this sounds a little crude, what I'm getting ready to say, but for a lot of people that are going to be dreaming of, in the future, they're going to pull the floor out from under them, and kind of the joke still on you. You're not, you're not getting in the club,
right. I mean, I guess welcome to being a group of five school. I mean, it seems like it's always happening.
Sometimes in the basketball tournament, the seeding and the pod system is that kind of slap on the wrist.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, and nobody pays attention to it because there are so many great teams that are in there. And bracket mania. And for a lot of people, the mid-major schools in college basketball get overlooked because their games aren't on ESPN. They're not on CBS Sports. I mean, they're on ESPN+.
How much did I really watch Colgate?
Exactly. And so I'll see because, I mean,
I had Colgate on the toothbrush this morning.
Yes, but not on the basketball court. And Brett, I mean, you know me. I like watching a lot of these mid-major basketball teams. And so my Twitter feed, especially in March, it's a lot of people saying, people are sleeping on X team and this team, and why are they a 15 seed? And then those teams pull upsets, and people are sitting there going, I knew this team was better than that. And so, you're right. It is a kind of a slap in the face of, well, y'all are just the little guys, and, you should just be happy you're here. And I'm afraid that's what the college football playoffs are going to become.
And when I talk about that championship flight in the SEC, I think most people know who's in that. Then in that first flight in the SEC, all those teams think they are positioning themselves too prominently. Mizzou and Ole Miss.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Think they are positioning themselves for this time next year. After going to the bowl games they're going to this year, Peach and Cotton respectively, if they're not in next year, do they really want to go to Gator,
That's right.
Tampa Bowl, Duke's Mayo Bowl, Music City Bowl?
Well, that's the problem, is because probably more Ole Miss than Missouri at this point right now. Lane Kiffin has set the bar extremely high going into
coach.
And he should. You're right. But I mean, next year after going to a New Year's Six bowl game for the second time in his tenure. I mean, they're going to be expecting
second time in 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, you should 100% be in that 12-team playoff next year. And I think if they're not in it, there's going to be a lot of people that are upset about that.
How many people are going to be fired to go play at the Music City Bowl?
That's right.
In the next to last year of the stadium in Nashville before the Dome.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about the Dome popping up. So, yeah, that's even more of a reason why they wouldn't be there. And so I think you'll see that a lot of places. I think there's a lot of schools in the SEC, in the Big Ten, certainly now in the Big 12 with the expansion, that there are a lot of teams, mainly in the Big Ten and the SEC, that going into next season, it is almost going to be this team should be in there, and we're going to be upset if they're not in it. And I don't know if that's fair to a lot of these coaches.
No,
But again, those contracts, I mean,
1st and 15th, really nice for them.
It sure is. I mean, when you have those big contracts, I guess you can't put much past it. And those budgets and the way the transfer portal works now for a lot of these, high-powered schools. I mean, you can easily go in there and find them. I've seen Ole Miss is having a lot of success with receivers in the transfer portal, getting visits and stuff. So, you're seeing this at a lot of schools, that they can just go out and add talent.
The first round of signing day a week from next Wednesday? Or is it next Wednesday?
I think it's a week from next Wednesday.
Week from next Wednesday.
I think so.
That would be the 19th or 20th? 20th, I think. I think that's it.
I think it is the 20th. Let's look.
I always say about signing day.
Yep, the 20th.
It can look as good as you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
It means nothing.
Well, Brett, just
ink's on the paper.
Now, that's true. And even after ink's on the paper, I mean, now with the transfer portal, look what's happening down at Texas A&M right now. I mean, it is a mass exodus right now. I mean, everyone's gone, especially that defensive line that we talk so much about this year.
What will A&M field at the bowl game? And will somebody – and if there's some in the FSU world that's talking boycott.
Sure.
Some players
Yeah.
that are talking boycott. We're not showing, and we're not going to show our hand until right before kickoff.
Yeah.
And just not play. Okay, if somebody does that, then that really rejiggers the whole bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Paradigm makeup of college football.
Yes.
In the end of the year. If they want to do that, they got every right to.
Sure.
Nobody's making you play.
No.
And at A&M, and they're so proud of that 12th man mentality.
Right.
Well, you may be playing 12th and 13th and 17th man.
There. Yeah.
See how proud you are of it now.
Because it really was interesting. I mean, you got to go out, you got to hire a coach, you got to make a change, and it seemed like from top to bottom, after they brought in Mike Elko, it was like, all right, we're meeting with these guys 2 or 3 times a day. We're going to make sure that the fear was this mass exodus, and then they stayed together for a couple days, and then just like that, everyone's in the portal now.
And another thing that the Bowls are going to have to do, and it could be the market forces we finally been really hoping for in bowls, but we know the proliferation of bowls was not organic. It was inside ESPN. They created it for programming at this time of year.
Right.
You start with all these bowls we're getting ready to start with next Saturday, and you can go through, and just so many of them are programming. Myrtle Beach Bowl, the Cure Bowl, the L.A. Bowl. The bowl in L.A. is the Rose Bowl. So you know the L.A. Bowl was just made out of whole cloth. The famous Toastery Bowl.
We got the Pop-Tarts Bowl this year.
We got Gasparilla. All that was just created out of TV. But would the market forces get big enough for the players to say, I don't want the gift bag.
Yeah.
I don't need any more tennis shoes. I don't need any more gym bags. I don't need your watch. I don't need any of that stuff that was really cool in the 80s.
Yeah.
I need cash.
I need straight cash. I could see it, especially with how big NIL and all of this stuff is getting with paying players. I would not be surprised at all if we got to that because, I mean, I know for a fact I've known guys at different schools that have gotten those gifts and they turn around and either give it to somebody or try to sell it to somebody. And so I
can remember a time when at a lot of really good bowls on the day that like the flat screens came in and it was distribution day, it was a happy day.
Sure, absolutely.
But that was, that's 15, 16 years ago now. Yeah. We know how rapidly how rapidly it's changed in the last 3 years.
Yeah, it's changed drastically.
Today's 20-year-old, the flat screen's not meaning that much to him.
No,
and I like the power and I like the freedom and liberation that these players have. They know there's a lot of money at stake. They want theirs.
Yeah. They do, and Brett, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we got to that point, and if we got to that point soon.
And if it boiled down to after, so next year we're going to have like 12 play at 5, 11 play at 6, etc., and then the next week we'll start the Elite 8,
right,
but incorporated with traditional bowls.
Okay.
After those bowl games, if we got down to just maybe 5 or 6 more, if that. Then the market is spoken.
Yeah, no, it certainly will. And I don't know, a lot of changes in college football, and we're about to start seeing them take full effect. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. At 3:30, Alan Bell will join us to talk wagering like he does every single Friday. It'll be very NFL heavy today with the only college football game tomorrow, Army versus Navy. But we'll get to a lot of wagering with Alan. 3:45, we'll talk a little bit about the game tonight, Grizzlies versus Timberwolves here in Memphis. One of those added games with neither the Grizzlies or the Timberwolves making the semi or quarterfinals for the in-season tournament. 4 o'clock, Bruce Marshall from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net will join us. We'll talk more wagering with Bruce, maybe get his thoughts on some of the things going on in college football, but definitely get to a lot of picks with Bruce. 4:30, Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas will join us to talk Razorbacks and the SEC. 4:45, we get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Jason Munns from the Commercial Appeal. He covers the Tiger basketball team. We got to talk to him, talk about that win the other night against VCU and the upcoming game on Sunday against Texas A&M. And as always, Jason Munns brought to you by Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. 5:30, we get to our first National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast. And then at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up the week like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, while we're not at the Family Leisure Studios, they're on the road with us in our Family Leisure Studios mobile studios where family and fun come together. It's time for the Family Leisure's Christmas sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Are you tired and sore from the shopping? Check out the huge in-stock selection of hot tubs and massage chairs. Surprise the kids with a new arcade, game table, or play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He is Brian, I am Brett, and we are with you until 6 o'clock. Johnny Hill's our producer back in the Flynn Broadcasting Studios. We're here until 6 o'clock, and we want you to join us out here live, and we want you to also join us on the text line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. Call them at 901-334-9673. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and happy New Year to everyone from Lexus of Memphis. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Stop by today at Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the luxury driving experience. Excuse me. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is the weekend of sports that we have ahead. I've heard a lot of people today say it's kind of a dry weekend with no college football. Army and Navy tomorrow, which will be really fun. I always enjoy watching the Army Navy game. Just one college football game. And then the NFL on Sunday. But, Brett, we've got all-day college basketball tomorrow. Now, I have heard the pushback. Ole Miss doesn't play till Sunday. Memphis doesn't play on Sunday, and I get that. But
that's part of the weekend, isn't it?
It's part of the weekend, but a lot of people have been talking about Saturday. Oh, I've enjoyed ever since the end of August, September. I've been enjoying Saturdays, wall-to-wall college football, and I have too.
Enjoy tomorrow.
But it's time to turn it to college basketball. Some really good games, Tennessee and Illinois early in the morning, and really a lot of fun games all day. It will be a lot of fun. Then we'll get to Sunday, and we'll get to the Tigers versus Texas A&M, a massive game for the Tigers, a road game against the Aggies, a really good Aggies team that really rebounds the ball well, and that's been a problem for the Tigers. Coach Hardaway met with the media earlier today.
You know Buzz will be in a straitjacket.
Yeah, he will.
He'll have the vest working way too tight.
Way too tight. And I remember a couple years ago, he had the jacket on and threw the jacket off and just drenched in sweat underneath. I mean, it's classic.
He could sweat at the North Pole.
Yeah, absolutely. But Jordan Brown, he missed last game against VCU. Penny, talking to the media today, said that he is still ill. He's not sure yet if he'll travel with the team and be available on Sunday. I mean, what we saw.
I hope he hadn't had what I've had all week.
I hope he doesn't either, Brett. I mean, that's
anyway I gave it to him.
Maybe.
Just hope I don't give it to you.
I just hope you don't give it to me. Yeah, I hope Jordan Brown gets well, but I just hope you don't give it to me.
I hope so too. And Sunday afternoon is big for the Tigers, but I'll get to that in a second. I don't think it's any must-win quantity to Sunday for the Tigers. This is kind of a free shot. But my top story is the Grizzlies tonight at home at FedEx Forum, the add-in game against the first-place Minnesota Timberwolves, best record in the league for the T-Wolves, 16-4. Think about the roads these two teams have traveled since meeting in that playoff spring of 22. What, that's 18 months ago?
Yeah.
These two teams met then. It was a wild, fun series, a lot of give and take, back and forth. The Grizzlies won 4-2. They were the better team. I think they could have, to borrow the phrase from the other day, they could have played 100 times. And I think the Grizzlies would have won that series. But think about what's happened since that hotly contested series. Since then, Minnesota cut loose from their biggest knucklehead in that series, Pat Bev. They got rid of him after that series.
Now his podcast, Brett. Everyone's got.
Oh, yeah, everybody got Pat Bev, he was cut. The Grizzlies stayed with their biggest knucklehead before finally moving on from DB. Minnesota superstars, they've been reliable and responsible. Grizzlies haven't. Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, they have been really good. The Grizzlies, and also the T-Wolves traded for Rudy Gobert, and he's worked out. Now, the Grizzlies couldn't help. They can't help Steven Adams being injured, but they won kind of that move too. They've made really good moves, and the Grizzlies simply haven't.
Yeah.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, Brett, tomorrow night we will know the Heisman Trophy winner. And I know you can't speak much about it because you are a Heisman Trophy voter as long as you could get in and vote. I know it's difficult.
I don't want to go to
no
Heisman voter prison.
No, when they make it, you've told me they make it impossible just to get
straight
in
to
there.
Guantanamo, get waterboarded.
Exactly. So I won't bring you into this. I know who I think will win. I think it will be Jaden Daniels. I mean, the season that he has put up, just watching him every week, and I've heard the excuses. Well, this amount of yards he put up against Georgia State for leaking your Heisman vote. That's right. But I've heard the kind of what people have said against Jaden Daniels of, well, look at playing Grambling, playing Georgia State. He's playing not great teams and putting up gaudy numbers. But look at what he did against SEC teams. I mean, when we did our look back at the week in the SEC, it felt like in these SEC matchups every week we would come in and go, Brett, he accounted for 6 touchdowns. He accounted for 8 touchdowns. I mean, it's incredible what he's done. Now, if he doesn't win
great receivers.
I mean, great offense. Defense, on the other hand.
But he doesn't play nose guard.
Exactly. He has a great offense, a lot of weapons. But if he doesn't win, I hope Michael Penix wins.
Pretty good free safety, though.
Oh, he sure would. He
really
would.
Be.
I bet he would. But if he doesn't win, I hope Michael Penix wins. I really like watching Michael Penix. I think he's done a fantastic job. And so, I wouldn't put it past him. I just hope Bo Nix doesn't win. That's just who I don't want to win. I don't like Bo Nix.
I don't think Bodacious is going to pull this one out. My not top story, Sunday in College Station. In the shadow of Kyle Field sits Reed Arena. A&M basketball sits in the shadow constantly of A&M football. But you go back and look at what A&M's done in basketball.
Yeah.
I contend they may have more basketball history than they do football history.
Ooh.
Now, Johnny Manziel and John David Crow winning
They did a lot. They did a lot.
That means a lot. But A&M basketball has done something.
Absolutely.
A&M football always disappoints. So we'll see what it's like on Sunday. I say free shot for the Memphis Tigers on Sunday. I don't think any pressure at all. Go down there, take your shot at them. But then when you get back home at FedEx Forum for the back-to-back Tobacco Road games, Tobacco Road games that are at home against Clemson and Virginia, those are the musties.
Yeah.
Sunday's not.
Those.
Sunday helps.
Yeah.
I mean, sure wouldn't give it back, but it's not a must.
No.
Clemson and Virginia at home, they are.
Yeah, no, you need those, and those are at home, so that will help a ton, but you could really use those. Well, I'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let me remind you, we're out at Ace Hardware in Cordova, 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's. Come out here for the Big Green Egg early Christmas at Cordova Ace Hardware. We've got so many deals on Big Green Eggs and Big Green Egg products. $100 off the large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kit. We're going to be giving away Big Green Egg door prizes and tons of giveaways. We're also giving away Liberty Bowl tickets, so a lot. Come out here and make sure you get here. We'll be here till 6 o'clock, our entire show. So come out and look at some of these Big Green Eggs that look really, really good. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some wagering with Alan Bell.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Ping G430 drivers, which combine the ultimate combination of distance and forgiveness. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Wow, I feel good shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax, you get value.
Need a car car that screams, I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
Drive Max, I got approved.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information. If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
I'm Bryant and Brett with you on a Friday afternoon, and we got to talk some wagering, a big weekend in the NFL. We've also got Army and Navy, and joining us to talk some wagering, Alan Bell joins us now. Alan, thanks so much for joining us again. Always fun talking to you on a Friday. Before we get to some of these games this weekend, man, what did you think about that game last night? Patriots-Steelers, and I don't think anybody saw the Patriots.
Easy.
Over was easy, and I don't think anybody thought the Patriots were going to win that game, but they do it on the road. Alan, what did you make of that game?
Man, no doubt, man. First off, appreciate you guys having me back. And
Appreciate you,
like, who would have thought the Patriots are going to win? And that, Bailey Zappi was throwing 3 TDs, looking great. I mean, it just goes to show you the NFL, man. Like, it really is, quote unquote, any given Sunday, even though it was a Thursday. You just take it in, man. Like, there are 22 professional football players on the field at all given time. Anything can happen.
And the Steelers right now, in one of the I know right now playoffs they would be 8th seed, but they still could get in. But this is one of the few times they can get in the playoffs. They're making no noise. Nobody's scared of them.
No. And, first off, and we've talked about this before, that Mike Tomlin deserves a lot of credit for how good of a football coach that he is, because he's not the GM, right? Like, it's not college. Like, you're not, recruiting your guys. That team's just not very good, and the fact that they're
his personnel.
Exactly, right? Like, and the fact that, that they are where they are, even though they lost last night, I mean, it is a testament to Tomlin, and his staff. And that's going to be the thing with him, is that the Steelers really are on that line at all times, right? Like, if everything goes well, buddy, they can beat anybody in the league. But if it starts tipping, it can go south in a hurry, because they just don't have any way to kind of quickly come back in games. And, you just got to jump on them early.
Yeah, but not only Bailey Zappi hitting you hard last night, but Bryant's player from his team, Ezekiel Elliott, looking like
that's right.
Ezekiel Elliott at Ohio State.
That's right.
Yeah, he really is, man. And, I've always liked Zeke. He's a tough-nosed runner. And,
straight ahead.
I know that he is, man. And, for his entire career, he's the best running back pass protector in the NFL, right? I mean,
maybe ever.
Absolutely. You look here national. I mean, Derrick Henry doesn't even play third down because he's not pass protection very well, right? So they'll show you, it's not always the biggest guy, man. A lot of times it's the heart out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Alan, looking at the NFL as we go into Week 14, who are who are the top 3, maybe top 5 teams in the NFL, both NFC and AFC at this point for you?
Yeah, so I mean, if you look top 5, all right, we could go, NFC, AFC. So if you take a look, let's just start with the NFC here. I mean, 49ers and Eagles, you could go 1A, 1B. I know that, San Francisco obviously won, last week in regards to that, but, I'm not counting out Philly as well. I put Dallas up there. The only reason we don't talk about Dallas as much as we do is because they're in the same division as Philadelphia, right? But this is a good football team, man, and they prove, it's not always blowing people out. The Lions are up there, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to stop at that because next you get into like the Falcons and the Vikings, and they're not in the level of those 4 teams. So we'll keep it at 4, on that one. Then you look at the AFC.
Varsity.
Yeah, exactly, right. Then you look at the AFC, man, and it's fascinating. Like the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. What do you do with those 3? I think the Dolphins, when they're playing at their best, they're the best team in the AFC. They could be the best team in the NFL. I don't know. But they don't always play at their ceiling. Sometimes they mess around here. The Ravens playing good football. The Chiefs, they do this every year, though. Like, every year they hit a lull. And we all question it. We're like, oh, man, it's finally caught up. They don't have receivers. And then they're in the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl. Right? So, I'm not going to count them out. Supposed to be right there. And then, again, draw that line, man. Like, what do you want to do? The Jags, the Browns, the Colts. It gets a little iffy after that.
Is it real, or is it just the overwhelming perception that the Dolphins have to have that home field advantage because they could not go on the road even to a Baltimore, much less the cold games at Arrowhead?
Yeah, it's real. But I think that it's going to be real for a lot of teams in the NFL, honestly. Like, if you look at home and road splits between all the good teams, like, each one has, like, a good game. Each one has a stinker in there as well, right? So, I know that, home field advantage always is important, but I think that it's going to be very important this year. But, for a team like the Dolphins that are specifically built on absolute perfect timing offensively, they need to be playing comfortable at home, good weather. It certainly helps them there.
Well, let's get to some of these games over the weekend in the NFL, and I want to start with my Cowboys and those darn Eagles. Right now, Dallas a 3.5-point favorite at home. That total sitting about 51.5. What do you like in the Sunday Night Football game?
And what's the TV viewership number?
Oh man,
how many?
Oh God,
35 million.
It's gonna be, it is paying its bills off this game, right? I'm gonna go Dallas. Give me Dallas with the spread. I think that Dallas wins this game. I think that they cover the spread. Now, I'm not saying that, Philly's going to look bad or, anything like that. I think it's going to be a good football game. But Dallas at home, this is a must-win. If they want to have any shot at winning this division, playing at home, they have to win this game. I'm not saying that Philly's going to come in not catering, but Dallas, when they need to win a game, they generally do it. And they generally cover doing it as well. So, give me the Cowboys by 3.5.
Alan, we were mostly kind of joking about NBC and making their budget on that Sunday night viewership number. and I can't – and we talked applaudingly yesterday of how well the ESPN was covering the NBA in-season tournament out in Vegas. Yeah. I can't imagine just what Disney's hotel bill for all the ESPN personalities that are out there from Wednesday through Saturday night and the finals. And I'm going to make a bet, and I'll look up the numbers, and I'll have them Monday. I'm going to bet you Army-Navy swamps tomorrow night's in-season tournament finals.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm with you on that one. And it's fascinating because, let's be honest, the actual game really generally isn't always that good. Right? But it's the whole thing, right? And I'm so glad that, with all the changes and everything in college football, please don't ever get rid of this. Please don't. And they won't, based on what you just said in terms of the ratings are always good. It's just so different, and I love that it has its own Saturday as well. It's just so well done from front to back.
I'm totally guessing here, but I'm going to guess tomorrow for Army-Navy. I'm just speculating. I'm going to guess around 6 or 7 million viewers, and Saturday night NBA will be about 2 million.
All right. I like that. Okay, here's the question.
We'll see.
On Army Navy.
We'll have it Monday.
Yeah, we will. We'll have it Monday. The total is 28 in this game. Y'all going over or under?
I mean, if it was
Heck with us, what are you doing?
I mean, I was about to say, if it was Iowa, I'm taking under, but I want to hear what you have to say, Alan.
I say under 14-10.
Yeah, like honestly, yeah, I think I kind of dig it. Now I'll tell you, Sportsline, we simulated it 10,000 times. We've got a final score of Navy winning 21-18. So obviously that would go over. But I'm kind of with you, man. Like 14-10 sounds about right. 17-10 sounds about right. I'm with you on that.
Now you're getting crazy. 17-10, all this offense. I'm just here, Melvin and Maud sitting up in the stands, and Melvin tells Maud all this passing nowadays. Maud, I can't stand it.
Melvin and Maud.
You know they're up there.
They're up there.
Oh yeah,
they're always
100%.
up there.
And this was being played in Boston, right? Yeah. It's gonna be fun with them.
Well, you know, Maud, when I went to school at BC, we didn't throw the ball 10 times a game.
I love it. Alan, I'm curious. There's been a lot of talk today about Shohei Ohtani this morning. There were reports coming out that a decision was imminent and that we could be getting an answer today. Then later reports said no, that's not the case. Then reports that Toronto's now in there and that he could be en route to Toronto right now to visit with them. I saw someone posted the odds for Shohei Ohtani's next team. Dodgers minus 135, Blue Jays minus 115, Angels plus 1,500. Where do you think Shohei ends up landing?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, man. I mean, Toronto makes sense. You know, it's going to be a larger brand, and I definitely think it's going to be American League. Like, if you're the Angels, the only thing is, like, if you're not going to keep him, you can't let him go to the Dodgers. You can't.
No.
He can't be in the same market, right?
You help supplement the money somewhere else.
He'll live in the same house.
Right, absolutely. You can't do that. But if he's going across the country to another country, you know, say Toronto. Now, here's the question,
time zones.
Yeah, here's also the question. If you're, say, Toronto or even the Dodgers, are you paying the full money for him to be a pitcher as well? Like, that's part of the experience.
Because he's not pitching next year.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, I think that part's done. Like, if I'm paying money, that kind of money, I want you, like, don't get me wrong, I would want you in both roles because it's part of the niche, but I'm not paying for it. Like, I want you as a hitter. I can't have you injured. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the part that fascinates me. Yeah, good.
I can't pay for Roger Clemens and Mark McGwire and only get Mark McGwire.
Right.
Yeah, and then, and if it's bad enough.
I mean, where's my Roger Clemens part?
Yeah, like I lose 2 in 1. Yeah, I'm with you. Like that part also fascinates me of the money and if he's going to pitch or not.
Well, I saw one report. Obviously, I'm a Cardinals fan, but I enjoy watching Mariners, and so I saw this report out of Seattle saying that there was plans. Maybe they had talked to him about a massive 1-year deal. Just have him for a year as a hitter, and then try to renegotiate, get back to the table. Once
somewhere Charlie O'Finley saying, "I told you so." That's what he wanted a million years ago. Alan, he wanted everybody. He was for free agency. Everybody in the sport signed 1-year hitches.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
you hit 217, I own you next year. You hit 317, you own me.
That's right.
Yeah, right. I find that quite fascinating. I mean, you know, Seattle would make sense. You're still, you know, in the Pacific time zone there, so you can, you know, continue those global markets. You know, the 1-year part fascinates me. I kind of dig that deal. We'd obviously have to see a number.
I do too.
I like it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's a 1-year deal. I'm going to pay you a little bit more, but I'm not. You're not pitching, right? But I'm going to give you some money, and if you like it, you know what? Give me a little bit of a deal because I took a chance on you. I kind of dig that. If you've got the money to do it,
I like it. And Alan, one thing about baseball, any far-fetched, harebrained idea, you don't have to worry about being the dumbest thing baseball's ever done.
Right.
Because for almost 50 years now, We've had we don't play baseball with the pitcher batting in one league, and now both leagues do it. And we had a 60-game season a few years ago, and the Dodgers think they won a World Series.
yeah, no kidding, right? And, I mean, those are great points. And, if you do that deal.
And we have a ghost runner in extra innings.
Seriously. Yeah, there you go. And do that deal, you're going to make the money back in ticket sales. You're going to make the money back in merchandise. You're going to make it back in TV market deal, too. So it's worth it to you to do it, and you make the player happy. Right? Because you're like, I'll just do a little bit more up front, and you know what? If it works out, you like it here, you like me, cut me a little bit of a deal on the back end. Number two, your team's good. You're in the race, so it makes sense. And number three, your fan base, everybody's happy because you're going for it, right? Like, it's kind of a win-win. Yeah. That's an excellent point. I really like that.
I do, too. Real quick, give us one or two more NFL picks. We got way off track. Give us one or two NFL picks real quick.
Yeah, it happens, man. All right, so if you're going to look at this weekend, take a look at the Miami Dolphins against the Tennessee Titans. I think that they are going to handle their business there, even though it's a large number at 13. And take a look. Yes, I understand the Giants plus 6.5 against the Packers. Sounds dumb. Take the Giants at home. That'll be a low.
You got to wait till Monday night for me to fix W's or L's on your picks.
I know.
We'll do it.
I'll tell you what. I'll throw you one more here so we can have something on Sunday. Seattle.
Oh, good. You know we need action.
Take the 49ers with the 11. Just do it. Seattle is not built to play against that team, and we just saw it 2 weeks ago.
You got it.
I like it. All right, well, Alan, thanks so much for joining us. That's fun as always. We'll do it again next Friday.
Happy holidays, friend.
Man. Hey, y'all the best, man. Appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, Alan. Alan Bell joining us every single Friday to talk some wagering, give us some picks. And, Brett, did you imagine that, what's today, December 8th, that we'd be talking so much baseball with Alan?
I didn't, and I bet you didn't know that in the 70s when Charlie O'Finley was just the bane of the sport.
Right.
Because he wouldn't break the bank for all those superstar players.
Yeah.
Reggie Jackson, Vida Blue, Catfish Honor, Sal Bando, Joe Rudy, all those guys. And he said, okay, I'm free agency.
Yeah.
1 year deals.
1 year.
Everybody won't sign up for that? Well, nobody wanted that.
Nobody.
I mean, because, they want the players and the Players Association that was not nearly as strong as it is now, but it was growing into the behemoth, the best union in the history of the United States.
Yeah.
Sports or anything.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
AFL-CIO is envious of the Baseball Players Association.
See, I don't mind what the Mariners are trying to do. I mean, when he can't pitch, I mean, why commit that much?
Aren't we in college sports in 1 year free agency?
We are 100%.
We just can't say that,
can
we?
Say
well, I guess we can.
We can say it.
And let's tell people what it really is.
I mean, the schools can't say it.
It's 1 year
the
free
conferences
agency.
can't say it.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's NIL.
That's right. NIL.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
NIL. That's right. Yeah. Well, we need to get to a break, but before we do that, we're out here at Cordova Ace Hardware. Get out here. We're giving away a bunch of prizes. We're giving away tickets to the Liberty Bowl. Come hungry. We're cooking from 5 to 6, food on the Big Green Egg. We got tenderloin, wings, pizza. So get out here after work. Come out here and come hungry. They've also got deals on Big Green Eggs. $100 off the large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kit. We're going to be giving away Big Green Egg door prizes. So get out here and come and check out these Big Green Eggs because, man, the food is 10 times better when it's made on a Big Green Egg. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we got to talk about the Grizzlies. They're in action tonight against the Timberwolves. We'll break that down next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
The season has changed. You know how I know? It's finally here, the Family Leisure Christmas Sale. Excellent deals on pool tables, shuffleboards, and saunas. Oh, we're just beginning. Tired and sore from shopping? Check out the huge selection in stock of hot tubs and massage chairs. Oh, and you can surprise the kids with the best stuff, like a new arcade, a game table, even a play gym. Gifts for the whole family to enjoy and enjoy together. Also on sale, theater seating, outdoor kitchens and grills, patio furniture, and fire pits. Merry Christmas from our family to yours. That's Family Leisure of Memphis. Every year we wait. They always deliver. They've done it again. The Family Leisure Christmas Sale is happening at I-40 and Whitten Road. That's 2120 Whitten Road to be exact. That's the place of shopping heaven. Family Leisure, where family and fun all come together.
Merry Christmas from Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. We're here to make your holiday season extra cozy and cheerful. For the first 50 customers who purchase a new Carrier system or tankless water heater, we have a special gift for you. Choose from a free 75-inch smart TV, a PlayStation 5, an Xbox X, a Nintendo Switch, or a $500 gift card on us. It's our way of spreading holiday joy. But hurry, this festive offer will only last through December 24th. Enjoy a comfortable Christmas and a special present from Choate's. Because when you choose us, you're not just a customer, you're family. Schedule your free estimate today at 901-347-8086. Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Let our family serve your family this holiday season. Wishing you a warm and joyful Christmas from Choate's.
Get ready for big-time basketball at FedEx Forum this month. The Memphis Tigers host Power 5 opponents, Clemson December 16th for a whiteout, Virginia on the 19th for a blueout, and Vanderbilt on the 23rd for a holiday game. FedEx Forum will be rocking as the Tigers look to continue their great start to the season. Tickets start at just $20 for these big-time basketball matchups. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. We're out here at Ace Hardware in Cordova. Get out here and check out these Big Green Eggs that they have available. We got great deals on the Big Green Eggs, and we're also going to be cooking some food out here, so come hungry. Maybe you get off work and you want to stop by from 5 to 6. We're going to have food on the Big Green Egg, tenderloin, wings, pizza. So get out here and enjoy some really, really delicious food.
We got every angle going
we
on
do.
Zoom.
We sure do. I mean, you're getting all
that's a lot of
both
Zoom
of us.
right there.
It sure is. But, make sure everybody can see our pretty faces.
What'd you think of the not top story for me drawing the parallel, the contrast from the Grizzlies defeating Minnesota to now? We didn't have time to really touch on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that last game when they were here, that was troubling, I think. And I mean,
Anthony Edwards spoke the truth, didn't he?
Yes, and I think that was the most troubling part because I think you go on social media the next day, you go onto the radio stations, you go to the local TV channels, and everybody was talking about that one quote because, Brett, we have prided ourselves really since the grit and grind era of we're going to have great crowds, we're going to have fans that are engaged, fans that are here to watch their guys, and at that moment you had another player, a young star in this league, say, I love playing in Memphis because it is a great environment, they're going to come after you the whole time, they love their team, and then he comes out and says, it was like playing in front of nobody.
No, surely he recognizes one big missing piece.
Sure, absolutely.
The face of the franchise, the preeminent player in the history of this franchise.
Yeah.
And it also shows what that player's judgment and poor decisions, how it has now imperiled this franchise.
Right. Yeah. And so I mean, it is what it is. You're missing your superstar. You've got a ton of injuries on this roster. I mean, you cannot get over that, but I don't think you can harp on it too much.
But there were distinct two different roads these franchises have taken since the Grizzlies won that hotly contested series.
Yes, and they're playing much better. I mean, 3 of the last 4 have been wins, and they've looked good in really all of these games. I think the biggest part was at Detroit, kind of a similar situation going on at Detroit where they're really struggling and they just can't really buy a win and fans aren't showing up as much, especially for that game because that game wasn't in the original ticket package for season ticket holders. So you had to go out there and buy those tickets.
This is a good test case to see kind of maybe how real rabid and real supportive people are. Because this is one that you kind of got to know about it to know about it.
100%. And so I think the fact that the Grizzlies were able to go on the road into kind of a sleepy arena in Detroit and get a win like they did, kind of pull away at the end, I thought was big because I could see this same Grizzlies team 3 weeks ago be really struggling down the stretch and it'd be a 1-2 possession game with a minute left, but it wasn't earlier this week.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to announce tonight, but we know some of the tomfoolery with announced and what's really there. And the Grizzlies have never, been subject to scan count because they're not the leasee. They're the owner, and so they're under no compunction to release those. But real versus announced will be quite a contrast tonight.
Yeah, it will, and I'm curious. I haven't looked to see kind of what tickets are going for, and how much are still out there available. But it will be interesting to see, and against a Timberwolves team that I think has been a good opponent for the Grizzlies, and as you've had some tough tests against them. Obviously, meeting them in the playoffs, and then what Anthony Edwards had said earlier this week, I think really, really kind of shows that this could build into some sort of rivalry with what they have over there and what they're building. It could build into a rivalry.
We thought it in the middle of that series that year.
Yeah, we did.
That I said then, and I still believe now they didn't win. I know who won the series and who moved on. But Pat Bev got under our skin.
He did. And there was a lot of back and forth in that series. Obviously, we kind of brought it up yesterday, but we had the Timberwolves fans that were gluing themselves to the court and chaining themselves. So there was a lot of everything.
I wonder where that food is tonight.
Yeah, really.
I hope not within 600 miles of me.
I hope not. But there has been a lot of ins and outs to the series, and I hope this could build into some sort of a rivalry. But we'll see what the crowd looks like tonight. We'll see what the Grizzlies can do tonight against the Timberwolves. But we need to get to a break. When we come back, we're talking some more wagering with Bruce Marshall.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
My Westies.
WestiesMemphis.com.
Westies Hot Fudge Pie. By now, you know we're famous for a hot fudge pie. But have you tried the new Cajun Alfredo?
The new spicy on our menu.
Fettuccine noodles, homemade Alfredo, sliced bell peppers, diced green onions, smoked sausage, and Cajun sauteed shrimp? Are you kidding me? Wow. What you said?
Often imitated,
never duplicated.
The new Cajun Alfredo.
Only at the North End's Westies.
Oh my, so good.
We deliver 7 nights a week. Downtown Memphis.
Oh my.
Open late till 2 a.m.
So good.
Join us December 7, 8, and 9 for our 40th anniversary celebration. Festivities kick off at 6 p.m. nightly. Old friends, new friends, and hot fudge pie.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
At Genesis Diamonds, we're rolling back prices and finance rates so you can get that special someone the most special gift ever. Maybe it's that pair of diamond earrings, or that all-new designer fashion bracelet, or that dazzling 2-carat diamond ring. It's all more affordable because at Genesis, we've got special pricing across the board and 0 interest for 5 years. So you can get that $3,000 diamond pendant and pay just $50 a month, or that $6,000 eternity band for just $100 a month. Everything's included in this amazing holiday offer. All our GIA certified natural diamonds and all our lab-grown diamonds, even all our luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. Imagine that $15,000 Rolex for just $250 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Don't let talk of rising prices and high interest rates dampen your holiday spirit. At Genesis, we're lowering prices and taking interest rates down to 0. Get that headliner gift they deserve and make your money go farther than ever. Merry Christmas from Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended. On approved credit, see store for details.
I know the sweetest thing in Memphis, and I know it's been around for 120 years. You know, I'm talking about Dinstall's, and it's time to stock up heavy on Cashew Crunch, Heavenly Crunch, Turtlettes, all of your favorite Dinstall's treats to watch the playoff games and to watch all the basketball. It's so easy to get. The sweetest thing in Memphis, all you have to do is head to Laurelwood or head to Germantown and Poplar right across from the hospital, or go where they make the candies. That's on Pleasant View. There's nothing that says Memphis better than Cashew Crunch with that little tinge of coconut, or the Turtlettes. Let's face it, there's nothing better than Dinstall's chocolate. That's the mainstay of all candies, isn't it? Milk chocolate, although their dark chocolate is pretty darn good. And if you get the peppermint with the dark chocolate and put it in the freezer, you're going to love it. So many ways to love Dinstall's. 115 years of making Memphis oh so sweet.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Well, not Brent Beard, but Bruce Marshall joining us to talk some gambling, talk some handicapping today. But we're going to talk to Bruce Marshall and a lot of questions to ask Bruce Marshall. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. I want to ask you about this college football playoffs because a lot of debate and conversation this week about the 4 teams that got in, Florida State being left out, Texas and Alabama being placed in. What did you make of the decision by the committee to exclude Florida State from the college football 4?
No, I was fine with it because I got the better teams. I mean, Florida State's a 14-point underdog, and it's a bowl game here. So, if you're one of the best teams that's there, though I understand the argument for Florida State and what they accomplished and all. This season, I think that the real thing is, for the grace of God, we didn't have one of these controversies in recent years when it was always there to happen. I mean, a harebrained idea just of a 4-team playoff anyway. So this could have always happened.
Really ramshackle.
Schedules. Yeah, I mean, it could have happened like this before. But I think that the anger is misplaced here from the Florida State people. A guy they should really be mad at is ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips, who, along with Kevin Warren and Klavikoff when he just took over the Pac-12 a few years ago, they formed that alliance. And this was an answer to Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. And that was that ACC Big 12, the ACC Pac-12 thing with the Big 12. And and they decided to sort of block an expansion of the playoff, which they needed a majority, a unanimous vote from all the conferences to get to 12 this year or even last year, and it was those three guys who did it. I'm sorry, it's the Big Ten Pac-12 and ACC. Phillips, one of those guys. So this thing, they could have had this playoff expanded, but I want to know why they couldn't still have expanded it. Why couldn't they have done it this year? Listen, I know the contracts and all. They're talking about more money. They could have worked something out. They could have done this in October. The college football playoff is a cartel. Cartels make their own rules. When the OPEC oil ministers get together and they decide we're going to pump some more oil, they say, okay, we're going to start it next Tuesday. I mean, they don't say not until 2025 or whatever. They do it immediately. They could have changed this, and
they don't ask.
They don't ask. And what kind of imagine the reaction if you got Alabama, Florida State, okay, let them play off 4-5, let Texas play Georgia 3-6. And then the winners get Michigan and Washington. That'd be perfectly fine. I don't know why that was so impossible to do, but they don't think that way in college football. But I will say this: going into this week, I talked to some some people, and they said you get a kick out of this. And they said, "Boy, Alabama better win this thing to justify and keep the Florida State people quiet." I said, "No, Florida State people are never going to be quiet. But the only thing that would really quiet them down a little bit is if they lose the Orange Bowl to Georgia. They lose the Orange Bowl, the sound goes, the volume goes down a little bit. It won't go away ever for those people, but it'll go down a little bit. But that's the result I think we need to keep the Florida State people a little quiet here, because otherwise, if they beat Georgia, it wouldn't matter if Alabama won 50-0 the next two games. They're going to still feel they were jilted.
Yeah, but Bruce, there's even conversation of maybe a player boycott of the Orange Bowl, that they don't want to practice.
Yes.
They don't want to play. Both coaches stiff the Orange Bowl media availability the other day. Georgia's not that wild about it either. I think we're going to either have to have a set aside, never mind the bowl gift bag, never mind 2 tickets to Six Flags. People 20-year-old today doesn't want that. They want cash. We're going to have to pay players performance appearance fees in these bowl games.
Yes, it's coming to that, Brad. And I think we talked about this a while back. When they expanded this thing to 4. They really devalued then even the other major bowl games in the New Year's Six. I mean, they want to talk about it being a big deal, but they sort of devalued all of those, and eventually it was going to come to this. Now, maybe next year, a lot of these games will be part of the playoff. But in the old days, Brett, you remember this. I mean, all these bowl games meant something before there was even any sort of a playoff. They all were sort of their own championship, all the bowls, and there was a lot more buzz in the postseason in those days for these other games. I know we got a little, 14 playoff here now. That gets a lot of the attention, and most all of it. But the rest of the bowl system is not healthy because of what they have done to it. They've devalued the rest of the bowls, and I think this is something they got to address moving forward. What to do with the bowls? One suggestion I have is, why the heck don't they move the portal back to after the bowl games? One, and just push the whole the recruiting calendar back a few weeks. Everything is so compressed. You got coaches leaving, players into the portal. Just do it after the bowls. And, by the way, with the NIL, maybe some of this NIL stuff should require, if you're paying these guys this much money, you've got to play the whole season. NFL guys have contracts with these guys. NFL guys, Russell Wilson can't just come out and say, I'm not playing, the last game. I'm not going to play. And any NFL quarterback can't do that. NFL player. I think there's so many flaws in what's going on with college sports, and I just don't have any faith in the powers that be to fix any of it.
Well, they're very scared, and they're very scared of the big class action, and they're very scared also in the transfer world, the recruiting world, to be labeled a big meanie. And if you were someone and go, you're gonna sign a deal with us, and you're signing it for 15 games. That could be 12 regular season games. That could be one bowl game. That could be a couple playoff games. That could be the the finals, but you're signing for 15 games. But then, Bruce, you can't make anybody give an effort. I know of a school last year that had a player that they more or less had an agreement. Now, if we go to a bowl game, you've got to play. Mm-hmm. And at that bowl game, after a couple of carries, my hamstring's tight. I can't go back in.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the whole thing. The system is ripe for that sort of thing. You touched on something else here, the threat of lawsuit. And you see, there's another lawsuit coming down here from these 3 players, against the Power 5 schools. The players and the students, could win every time they go into court, I think. And the NC2A is so scared right now. I think by the end of what we're here in 2023, by the end of the decade, the NC2A will not exist the way we know it. I think the major conferences in football, they're gonna break away. Forget the NC2A. We don't need it, and it'll be separate from university budgets. It's like its own pro league. I could even see, the school saying, you know what, your eligibility, forget you NC2A. We determine the eligibility. All you have to do is be enrolled in grad school. You could have 7 or 8 year college players getting paid a lot of money, and the NFL is going to look at this and say, what's going on here? There is no guardrail.
You're majoring in football.
Yep. Yeah, there's no guardrail in this stuff right now, and it's all the fault of the people in years past who could have foreseen this, yet they were too bloody greedy to put in something appropriate years ago. That includes paying players long ago, and not just getting it done under the table. They could have done something creative years ago, but they didn't decide to do that way because it's just been flawed the whole way.
Bruce, you make a great point about FSU and all the irritation and ire they have directed at so many. And it's very easy at Greg Sankey and the cabal of conspiracy with the SEC, and there's just no there, but whatever. And they love to do that. But FSU had a chance to join the SEC in '92. They passed. And then that alliance. Remember when the Big Ten was out there saying, how dare the SEC, you corporate raiders, you go and get Texas and OU. Mm-hmm. How dare y'all? We're just better than that. We're in a real ivory tower. We don't treat it like that. And they joined that alliance that derailed having a playoff this year. And then the very next summer, the Big Ten, well, if I can't beat them, I'm going to join them, and they go and raid the Pac-12.
Yeah. You be careful who you're in the foxhole with. They turned around and bit one of the other guys in the alliance. Some alliance there, huh? Yeah, that's all very true. Right. One other note, remember, you saw Boo Corrigan the other day, and I think there might have been more people with ACC affiliations in the playoff committee than any other conference. But Florida State has been rattling the saber lately about getting out of the ACC too. And they've made no secret about that. So you just wonder if the people in the conference, I know the money-wise would have been good for them, but I don't think there's a lot of love elsewhere in the ACC for Florida State right now. So there's a lot of different conflicting things going on here at the moment. But the bottom line is they got the 4 best teams, I think, unless Georgia might be one of the 4 best teams too. Or
Ohio State.
Or Ohio State. But at the moment, Florida State, I don't know that Florida State would be favored over Kentucky right now in a bowl game, much less Alabama or Texas. So there you go.
Bruce, before we get to the NFL games coming up this weekend and Army-Navy tomorrow, this weekend is also the Heisman Trophy ceremony. This is a tough question. Who do you think is the biggest snub? Who was the best player that didn't win the Heisman Trophy during that year? I know we could look back and it'd be players, that went on to great NFL careers, and how did he not ever win a Heisman? But in that year, in that moment, who's the one that really got robbed?
I want to say Christian McCaffrey, but I won't because Derrick Henry was pretty good. Don McPherson at Syracuse in '87. Tim Brown won that actually sort of the year before that game against USA, which I was at, and he had that big punt return right at the end of the game to set up the field goal. And Brown had even said something like, yeah, that's why I went to Notre Dame, because it helps me with the Heisman. But Syracuse is unbeaten that year. McPherson was magical all year, and he was a close second. He should have won, and that was just a pure – I think that's the last Notre Dame guy who's won, by the way, when Notre Dame still had that panache.
That's correct.
But, Brown was good, but he should not have won it over McPherson. And there's probably some others, long
Jim Brown?
ago.
Did he have
Jim
a
Brown
case?
didn't win one. Yeah, Jim Brown didn't win one. There's a lot of guys from the past who didn't win. Gary Beeben told me when I talked to him several years ago, he said, O.J. probably should have won it in '67. He said it was sort of he actually admitted that. He said, it was sort of a career award, but O.J. had a better year than me in '67. So, there's a lot of those. But McPherson is the one that really, that's 35, 36 years ago now, and I'm still chuffed by that one.
And you mentioned Gary Beeman. He wins it in '67, and he said he thought O.J. was a better player, career award. And back then, wait your turn, you'll win it next year, and O.J. did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And now, and back then it was, Staubach won it in '63 as a undergrad, but it didn't happen again until Archie in '74 was the next undergrad. So that was sort of an unwritten rule, and then Griffin sort of changed that. But there have been a few snubs, but that McPherson one still sticks out for me.
And I know where we are. A lot of people are saying, "What about Peyton? What about Peyton in '97?" And even Razorback fans with Darren McFadden coming in runner-up in back-to-back years. You go back and look at that vote total now. That night, and I was there when Charles Woodson was announced, it felt like, Nixon barely beating Humphrey, or maybe Florida 2000. We didn't know Florida 2000 was going to occur then in '97. We weren't on a time machine. But it felt like a narrow win. You go back and look at that vote total now. It wasn't a landslide, but that was an easy win for Woodson. Peyton really wasn't close.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that, it's funny you bring that up. Boy, I haven't thought about that one in a while. But I almost thought that was sort of a backlash against all of the Peyton Manning hype that year. It had started. Woodson came on late, and that I think just was the voters just said, we've had enough of you jamming Peyton down our throat like that. We're going to vote for someone else. And I thought that actually has something to do with
Peyton just didn't come up big in big games that year either.
Right. That's very true.
Yeah. Talking to Bruce Marshall. He joins us every single Friday. Talk college football, talk NFL, talk wagering from Vegas Insider, CBS Sports, and BAMSports.net. Well, we've talked a lot of college football. Tomorrow we have the Army-Navy game. Do you have any pick in that one? I think last time I saw it, Army about a 3-point favorite. The total sitting at 28. Do you like anything in Army-Navy tomorrow?
Normally, this is an automatic under for me, but now that because of in the post-Iowa world here now, where they have actually put totals under 30 and they've landed under, they've taken some of the value out of this thing. 28, I still might go under. This game had gone under 15 straight times until last year, and it got over because of an overtime last year. Commander-in-Chief games, 46-10-1 to the over the last 57 of those.
Wow!
But they've never had a total like this. And last year, I think the lowest we had was like 32. So I actually think Navy actually is worth a look. They play a tougher schedule than Army. The teams that gave Navy problems this year are the ones that really had slicked up passing attacks. Temple, it wasn't great, but Temple jumped on them early. SMU sure did a couple of weeks ago. Army doesn't have anything like that. This is sort of a strange offense Army's running. It's not the old flexbone this year. It's sort of a hybrid. It's a pistol read option. It's not the old flexbone. Navy is still running its old option. They're throwing a little more out of it, but they did post 3 shutouts this year. It's a pretty gnarly defense against certain types of foes, which I think Army fits into that. So this might go under, but I think Navy beats them. Again, the scheduling.
Wow.
You play in the American, that's a tough schedule Navy plays in. Oh, by the way, they get Notre Dame at least once a year as well. Army doesn't have anything like that on its schedule, nothing near as tough. And I think Navy gets some, I'm going to say 14-10 mid, so maybe that's an under as well.
That was 14-10 was my score earlier, sure Bruce. And I told Brian and Johnny earlier in the week in our audience about your 4-minute mile Roger Bannister theory on over and unders.
That's right.
We've broken through.
We did, and Iowa is a trailblazer. So Kirk and Brian Ferentz are like the Roger Bannisters of totals, but because they kept going under. I mean, I think that Nebraska game got down to 24.5 2 weeks ago, and that still went under. So they have altered the market, and now there's not that barrier to post a total under 30 when it was like no man's land forever. That almost was under 30. That ticked under 30 a little bit, that NFL game last night. I think it closed 30, but I saw some 29.5s this week for Pittsburgh and New England, too.
Wow. Well, let's get to some NFL games, Bruce, and let's start my Cowboys at home tomorrow night. Brett, our Cowboys,
our Cowboys, that's right.
Sunday night football, hosting the Eagles. Right now, Dallas, a 3.5-point favorite. That total sitting about 51.5. What do you like in the Sunday night game?
Over in Dallas. Dallas beats Philadelphia down here, although Hurts did not play in that game last year. But they've beaten them on 5 straight here in Arlington. Different Eagle teams, I know, but they've still done well down here. 6 straight in this series have gone over. I think this one probably goes over as well. Dallas has scored 40-plus its last 4 home games. They're scoring 41.5 per game at home. Now, the schedule's broken really well for them at home, and I think that's the deal. I mean, Dak puts up these big numbers against lesser teams. He won't do that against the 49ers, and I'm not sure in the playoffs he'd do it in Philly, but here at home he can do it. One difference for the Eagles this year, and it's sort of alarming for them. Last year they had 70 sacks last year. This year we're sitting at 32, and we're getting well into mid-December now, so they're way behind the pace last year. They're not getting push from the front 4. They need help to get to the other quarterbacks. Last year they got a better push from the front 4. Also, they were running the ball better last year. They ran about 4.6 per carry last year. It's about 4.1 this year. Teams are taking away the long stuff from Hurts. They have still broken a few longer plays on short passes because Brown and Devontae Smith can occasionally break them, but it's been a little bit tougher for the Eagles this year. Nonetheless, this series has been higher scoring. I expect it to be higher scoring, and I expect Dallas to win. 34-27, my score forecast for Dallas. That'll tie things up in the East and set us up for a really good stretch drive.
And have Dallas right there going for the 1 seed. Jake Browning had a good game. Nothing like Jake Browning against Gardner Minshew. We get that on Sunday. Bengals minus 2.5 at home against the Colts.
How about this old Apple Cup matchup between Minshew and Browning? How about that? Washington State, Washington. There you go. Browning looked really good the other night. Jacksonville should have tried to pressure him a little bit more. We had heard, though, that Zach Taylor and the Bengals thought they could do, not Burrow, but they thought they could win with Browning. Remember, he ran with the first team most of the summer because Burrow had that leg injury. He has some experience dealing with the first string, and he looked really good the other night. But I'm kind of impressed here with the Colts. I don't know how they're doing it, but they keep winning. Minshew keeps making plays. I mean, he's borderline reckless, though, which is why I kind of think this game might actually go over because now the Bengals got the offense going last week. The receivers are still fine. Browning's got some confidence. Minshew seems to make things happen. And even if Taylor's hurting, they seem to be able to get some things done. So I think this is over. The Colts have won 4 straight games. Maybe they do it again. I lean a little bit to the Colts, maybe a little bit more to the over, which is sitting at 43 right now. I think there'll be more scoring than that on Sunday.
I like it.
Colts, Cincy to go over. Speaking of the Apple Cup, I know he was a Washington Husky, but Gardner Minshew's got that reckless, gambling, Sonny Six killer in him, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little too much, I think, at times. Yeah, he was Washington State. He was a great pull by Mike Leach, who out of East Carolina, to come out there. But I watched last week, and even after that big pass to Pierce, which set him up in overtime to win the game, I mean, that first down pass to the goal line, he threw it right into traffic, and that could have been disastrous for the Colts. But he seems to be – by the way, this is a high-level backup quarterback, and aren't we seeing that around the league, that these teams that have not invested in backup quarterbacks, and there's differences between those. A good backup quarterback, the value is can really come back to help you. And Minshew has proven a good investment for the Colts for sure.
Yeah, he definitely has. Bruce, what is your favorite NFL bet of the weekend?
That Eagles game over. I like that. I kind of like the Raiders here, believe it or not. I think the Joshua Dobbs thing is over, is finished. They have had, he's had 6 turnovers the last 2 games. Teams have sort of figured out. He scrambles to his right. He doesn't scramble to his left. He'll force the ball into traffic. The Vikings have lost some momentum. So I can see the Raiders with a week off. They've got Josh Jacobs running more. They did lose their last 2 before the off week. But I think the Raiders bounce back here this week to win. One other one, Tampa Bay, I think goes into Atlanta and wins. This is everything on the line for the Bucs here. If they lose this, they fall 2 games behind and effectively 3 games behind Atlanta because they lost the first game at the Gun in October, 16-13. So they're done. They win this game, they're back in it. They're effectively tied with the Falcons. They split the season series, and we'll go down the last 4 weeks. But the Mike Evans and Mayfield have a really good partnership going, and I just don't see this Falcons offense doing much. Arthur Smith really needs to find, I think they keep him after this year, but give him a Justin Fields. If they could make a trade for Justin Fields, and that's one of the rumors I'm hearing, you could see the Falcons look for a quarterback like that. Smith's offense can work with a guy like that, but the guys he's got, Ritter, Heineken, and they're not working. I think Baker Mayfield wins this game for the Bucs in Atlanta on Sunday.
Bruce, before we let you go, where can we find more of you?
Yeah, check us out. All my picks online there, VegasInsider.com. College football, NFL, college hoops, got a few games tonight. NBA, a lot of games tonight. NHL, all that stuff up there at VegasInsider.com. You can also read my stuff at CBS Sportsline, Sportsline.com, once in a while up there in HQ. And I got a podcast with Jimmy Ott down there in New Orleans and Bet Rivers on the Sports Better's Paradise, they call it, in the Bet Rivers Network.
I like it. Bruce, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next Friday.
Okay, guys. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. Bruce Marshall, thank you so much, and happy holiday season to you and yours, Bruce Marshall, for sure. Everybody you can head to All-Star Chevrolet and get that new Silverado. All-Star Chevrolet right there in Olive Branch, first exit into Mississippi. Highway 78 into Mississippi, Kraft Goodman Road, financing down to 1.9 or up to $10,000 in cash. And earlier today, they fed every first responder in the area, had a great response. And I know so many people on the receiving end that appreciated it. You didn't appreciate it any more than All-Star doing it for everybody out there that's a first responder. You can make no payments for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it at All-Star. You can find all the red tags, the Tahoes, Equinox, Trailblazers. Families love the Traverse with the third row seat. So you can do more together this holiday season. Christmas, holiday trips, bowl trips, whatever you're doing New Year's Eve. What are you going to be driving? You need to be driving one of the beautiful cars from All-Star. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned All-Star, they're loaded up. If it's not on the lot, ask for Jeff, and he'll find it for you, Jeff and Kevin. And everyone at All-Star asked me to wish everyone a happy holiday season, Merry Christmas, and a very happy and prosperous and healthy 2024. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. And, again, thank you so much to all the first responders that came out to lunch today at All-Star. They appreciated doing it for you because they appreciate what you do for us.
Well, we're at Cordova Ace Hardware, 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's. Get out here and check out these Big Green Eggs. It's the Big Green Egg early Christmas event. We've got platinum selection of Big Green Egg equipment and accessories, $100 off large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kit. So make sure you get out here. We're also grilling from 5 to 6 food on the Big Green Egg, tenderloin, wings, pizza. We've got it all out here at Ace Hardware in Cordova. But we need to get to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk Arkansas Razorbacks and the SEC with Ty Richardson.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Give me liberty and give me real estate. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten, and that was Hugh Mallory. Not only does he work with me at Mark Spenstorf Realtors, he's the president of this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So Hugh, instead of sounding like Patrick Henry, what do you mean?
Well, Sheldon, like you, I sell real estate. I'm also privileged to serve as president of the 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl, which will be held Friday, December 29th at 2:30. I'm able to handle all my clients, whether they're buying or selling, while participating in this great annual tradition.
Hugh, that is definitely quite an honor, and with your fabulous track record in real estate sales, I know you'll do a great job. Hugh will move you as something to remember, and you can reach Hugh Mallory at 497-9756. It's also why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. You can reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546. See you at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl on December 29th.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Temperatures are low, but demand is high. You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Callaway Paradigm Woods, forged carbon for unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour B6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Make the season extraordinary when you shop the spectacular holiday collection at Sissy's Log Cabin. From engagement rings to designer jewelry, you'll save on gifts everyone will love, all while enjoying the Sissy's promise of unmatched service and experience at any of our 6 locations or online at sissyslogcabin.com. Embrace the magic of the season only at Sissy's Log Cabin, official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies and the Memphis Tigers, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Time to talk Razorbacks on Sports Time. Joining the guys is Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas to talk all things Hogs and SEC. On Twitter X at Ty Sports Radio, here's Ty Richardson with Bryant and Brett.
Come on, all you Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those Hogs!
Welcome back into Sports Time. We're out here at Cordova Ace Hardware for the Big Green Egg event. Make sure you come out here, check out these Big Green Eggs. We're also cooking from 5 to 6, tenderloin, wings, pizza. We're doing giveaways. We've got tickets to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl that you can come out here, register to win those. So make sure you get out here for that. But we got to switch gears and talk some Razorbacks. Ty Richardson from ESPN Arkansas, he joins us now. Ty, thanks so much for joining us. What's going on out in Arkansas right now?
Well, boys, you guys have a bowl to look forward to, as does Ole Miss. Arkansas fans don't. So we have college basketball. Arkansas's got Oklahoma and Tulsa tomorrow. I'll be on my way there in about an hour from now. So that's what we have to look forward to.
How has the transition been after the Duke win, the Petrino news, into portal season, is the 4-8 started to be put in the rearview mirror?
Yeah, I think so. There's still a lot of work to be done. They lost Rocket Sanders to the portal, A.J. Green, Chris Paul. I mean, there are still issues in terms of what you have currently constructed with your roster. They've got a Boise State quarterback in this weekend by the name of Kalen Green. He played in Louisville, Texas. That Bobby Petrino's been on him since high school, so that's maybe a possibility. I mean, this roster right now, there's a reason they went 4-8. They've got a lot of improvements to make, but there is some signs of hope. But as you guys know, it's one thing to have hope. It's another thing to actually execute. Arkansas's got a long way to go.
What has the reaction from the fan base been to these transfers, or these guys entering the portal, these stars? I mean, has it been expected after kind of the season that was, or was it kind of a surprise to see Rocket Sanders, KJ Jefferson jump into the portal?
It hurts. And KJ, just to be clear, KJ has not entered the portal just yet.
Okay.
There's been reports out there that he plans to enter it. Technically, his name has not been included. The expectation is he's going to. But, yeah, no,
right.
Brian, I mean, you feel a certain type of way about these guys that have been with your program in some cases. Like KJ's, for example, 5 years if he ends up entering. Rockets was a junior this year, so was his third season. Other guys as well. But it's just the world of college football we live in, and you have to take advantage. Musselman's been really good at basketball and taking advantage of it. And then in your backyard, Brett, Lane Kiffin's probably the best in the country, and maybe the transfer portal.
Is.
Yeah, and he really embraced it. You have to, and I feel sometimes, Ty, that Sam Pittman is still fighting it. This week he's talked about tampering. That's an NFL term. There's no tampering in college sports right now. You can think there's a gentleman's agreement. You can think it shouldn't be done, but there's no such thing as tampering.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating for him and others that feel like that should be a rule, and there's nothing that really anything is done about it. I get where he's coming from, but his focus, and I got a little frustrated listening to him at the tail end of the season when he was talking about being mentioned of him being fired. That's hurting our recruiting. No, the fact that Arkansas hadn't won an SEC game at that point was hurting the recruiting. So
that's
right. That was the whole issue, and I think you and I talked about that a little bit. You've got to focus on what matters at that point, and that's adding and keeping your roster. And they've got some guys that have announced they're coming back. Andrew Armstrong, their leading receiver, announced that today. He's probably the most notable news in the last, 12 hours or so. Sam Pittman's got a lot of work to do. He knows that, and so does Bobby Petrino.
That's one thing that really surprised me this year with Sam Pittman. I understand the frustration of a season that really went bad, but early in the year, I'm going to use the word sensitive, not soft. He appears to be very sensitive. He was sensitive to the give and take on social media, so he flies the coop from Twitter. I don't blame him. I think it's utter garbage out there on X, on Twitter. But he's the head football coach of an SEC school. There's was getting ready to be 2 more, so that'll make 16, but he didn't like that. He doesn't like people coming after his players. He mentions tampering when there is not a single rule out there. Instead of him complaining about people coming after his, he needs to be going after theirs. He's a football coach in the SEC. It's a rough and tumble world. Then he didn't like the crowd reaction at some games. I mean, what did he think? Did he think it was just always going to be, sunshine and daffodils, and every day was going to be a day at Lake Hamilton in the summertime at the lake house?
I think that coaches can say all they want that they understand the magnitude of being a head coach in this conference prior to doing it. But until you actually do it, you don't know. And you can be an assistant. You could be a head coach in another league. There's a lot of other different scenarios that could play out. That you can say, no, I understand what I'm in charge of, what is asked of me. I really don't think, whether it's Chad Morris, whether it was Brett Bielema, in this case now Sam Pittman, sometimes you just don't understand, and you adjust accordingly, and hopefully Sam does this next year. But, yeah, some of the things he said were off-putting, and I think some of the things that were said to him, again, were off-putting as well. But as you brought up, that's Twitter, and it can be utter useless garbage sometimes.
Yeah, it can be, but, when after the first year, he went 3-7 that first year and got that great reception. Then the next year really capitalized on KJ Jefferson and a talented roster, goes 9-4 and beats Penn State. And then since then just hadn't won very much. And I think he thinks, you stay on that same role, that same approval rating of when you're beating Penn State as when you're losing the games he's losing.
Yeah, it's just not how it works. And
it's not reality.
And
it might be why. It might be why, and Mississippi State's doing it right now. It might be why you should never hire a first-time head coach in the SEC, because I know Kirby Smart worked out. I know Philip Fulmer worked out at Tennessee as first-time head coaches in the SEC, but you can go through a lot of good people that it didn't work out in your first job being a head coach in SEC. Ask Matt Luke, ask Ed Orgeron, ask Rocky Felker, ask Sylvester Croom, ask Mike Shula, Jerry Stovall at LSU. I could go on and on till midnight of guys having their first job as a head coach in SEC. It ain't easy.
Yeah, and those are definitely that's definitely more the rule, Brett, and Smart and Fulmer more the exception. It helps when you're, tutored by Saban and Majors. That doesn't hurt anything when you walk into your head coaching job. And I know technically Pittman learned from Smart, who learned from Saban, but there are, like the Belichick thing, for example. Bill Belichick, as great as they were with Brady and them, most of his assistants haven't panned out. Like, they just haven't, but that just hasn't. So even being around greatness sometimes as an assistant coach doesn't always materialize to becoming a head coach. Some guys just are really good coordinators and meant to be head coaches in certain cases.
And ESPN Arkansas, he joins us every Friday to talk the Razorbacks and the SEC. Going over to the basketball side for Arkansas, big game this weekend against Oklahoma. We've got some injury news. Trayvon Brazile has been, a little, I guess you could list him questionable for this weekend game. What is the latest update you have heard on his injury?
So he's not on any of the bets, guys, which is always a sign to me. Like, he doesn't have any player prop bets that he might not play. I've monitored that more closely than I ever did before when it came to someone's injury status. His ankle guys went sideways at the end of the Furman game on Monday night. So they've had him on the underwater treadmill. He's been off it, but I don't think he's going to play. And this is a guy that's the highest NBA projected player on the draft. Might not be their best overall player, but at least for an NBA projection, he is. He's top 5 in the SEC in blocks. He's a great rebounder, and he spaces the floor. They don't have anyone else really like him that Trevor Brazile brings. So some other guys are going to have to step up tomorrow, and they're going to be outnumbered with what Oklahoma brought in the transfer portal.
The very, very, very early in the season proviso certainly in mind with all this. But for Arkansas basketball, end-of-the-year goals, tournament run, are they all still where you think they kind of were at the beginning of the year, or some things been maybe rekiltered?
I would say that they still have a long way to go. Brett, this team is a little different than Muss's previous 3. Those 3 teams were good on defense early, and they had to figure out their offense as they got progressively into conference play. This team is more figured out their offense because they brought more scorers in the portal, but defensively they're still lagging behind relative to what Muss usually is at this point. So there's going to be some ups and downs like there is every year in Muss, and you'll see some lulls, and there'll be some frustrated Arkansas fans. But he has a lot of offensive talent here, and there's guys that can really space the floor and shoot it, unlike last year. So I would say I'm still in the line of thinking they can probably be a top 5 seed. I don't think they're going to be a 1 or 2 seed. Guys, I want to be in the FedEx Forum in about 3 or 4 months. That's where I want to be first and second round, watching Arkansas play. Hopefully.
Yeah, and with the pod system, maybe not even with a cozy seed, just with the NCAA trying to make money and have seats filled, Arkansas still could be there. But to make a push to getting to Dallas the next weekend, I don't know if I have the same confidence that I want it. Back to football. How much does it burn Razorback fans to know that in that class of 4 coaches hired that year, notwithstanding the late Mike Leach, but the other 3, you had Sam Pittman hired at Arkansas, You got Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss that's going to a New Year's Six Bowl for the second time in 3 years, and you got Eli Drinkwitz going to one at Mizzou. Had a shot at Eli Drinkwitz, had a shot at Lane Kiffin, and you get Sam Pittman. How much is that burning them?
I think, again, it seems like they passed on Drink. They had a shot in Kiffin. He went the other way. So it should burn them because that was the starting point. I know Arkansas was far behind both where those schools were at in that calendar year, but that's who you're competing against year in, year out. You play Missouri every year in every sport, football included. Ole Miss, you got them next year at home in Donald W. Reynolds Racetrack Stadium. Those have been great games between Kiffin and Pittman for the most part, with the exception of the blowout last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
November 2nd will be the game next year.
You got that tidbit for us? Let's go. We got that early.
And if I didn't freeze to death 2 years ago, I will next year on November 2nd. Or last year.
I gotta find you. I gotta find you next year. I wasn't able to see you this 2 years ago, whatever it was. But yeah, no, I think Brett, to your question, I mean, it has to. Like, as an Arkansas fan, you don't even have to be like follow college football like a ton just to know that those two guys got hired the same year. Especially Kiffin, right? I mean, Kiffin is killing it in Oxford. I know he hadn't figured out the Saban key yet, but not many people have. I mean, once he figures it out, I think he will at some point, then there's no telling where Ole Miss can wind up, I think, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be interesting. But, Ty, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy your weekend. We'll do it again next Friday.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Ty.
Thanks, Ty.
Enjoy Tulsa. Thank you, Ty Richardson, with us talking the Razorbacks, and he does every week, and we appreciate it so much. A week from today, we're out here at Ace right now having so much fun in Cordova. A week from today, we'll be at Sissy's Log Cabin's new location there at Poplar and Perkins. The new location, it's open. Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Grizzlies and of the Tigers. Bill Jones and his great team, they're ready for the holiday season and all that goes with it. And we want you to join us next Friday, supporter of Tigers Athletics, official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies, and sponsor of our Look Back at the Weekend in the SEC, have been all year on Mondays at 4:30, and we're there next Friday and giving away 2 tickets on Feet on the Wood next Friday afternoon, among other things. Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, 9,000 square foot with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Since 1970, with 6 great locations across Arkansas and Tennessee. Sissy's, they offer a selection of diamonds, estate jewelry, and fine gifts. The floor seat lounge at FedEx Forum, the great seats that we're going to be giving away, and the official jeweler for the Memphis Grizzlies with a full display case back in the Sissy's Log Cabin Lounge. Unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
And I've driven by that new location. It's beautiful building.
They're rolling.
They pulled up. Oh, yeah, it is beautiful. Well, we're going to be out there next Friday, but today we're out here in Cordova at Ace Hardware, 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's, for the Big Green Egg early Christmas event. Come out here and check out all of these Big Green Egg products. We've got tons of deals, $100 off the large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kit. We're also cooking on the Big Green Egg from 5 to 6. Tenderloin, wings, pizza, all of it here at Cordova's Ace Hardware. So make sure you come out and say hello. We're also giving away a ton. We're giving away tickets to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So make sure you come out here and check everything out. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app, or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Want to do something you can't do anywhere else? Join me in Sports 56 at Top Gun Memphis Thursday, 11 to 1, and shoot for free when you mention Sports 56. While you're there, buy the ultimate Christmas gift, the fully automatic machine gun package for only $89. That includes 3 different machine guns, ammo, range safety officer, and the shooting lane, man. All for just $89. See you Thursday at Top Gun Memphis, Witten Road, with machine gun package and Liberty Bowl ticket giveaways, TopGunMemphis.com. Try it, shoot it, buy it.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea with a 5% kick of alcohol. Look for the bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Brett, I think you should go first today.
I'll be glad to. All right, Johnny, here we go. My big number is 1890.
Wow.
And that is a year. That was the first year Army and Navy met in this storied football history. 24-zip middies. Navy won that year. They've played 123 times. Saturday will be number 1. Tomorrow will be number 124. 62-54-7 all time. But they first played in 1890. I don't even know if it was leather helmets then.
Brett, you did it again. You did it again.
I don't know.
Here we go again.
Hold it, Johnny. Don't grade too soon.
Don't grade too soon.
Okay.
I don't think mine's much better. But all right, here's mine. Let's see. My big number 7. How about that, Johnny?
Okay.
7, my big number today. Last night, LeBron James. Some people call him the king. Some people call him the GOAT. I call what he did last night impressive. Most points on either team, most assists on either team, best field goal percentage on either team, best three-point field goal percentage on either team, best free throw percentage on either team, most free throw attempts on either team, and fewest turnovers on either thing. I think that's the biggest one. You do all of that, and you look up and you have 5 or 6 turnovers, that's one thing. But when you look up and you have the fewest turnovers on either team, that's what LeBron James did in that in-season tournament game last night against the Pelicans. The first time an NBA player has done so, including ties in those categories.
And they couldn't really plan for a better finals tomorrow night in this maiden voyage. You get the Lakers, you get LeBron, you get a pretty freewheeling spotlight on you. I'm looking forward to seeing these ratings numbers for tomorrow, because ESPN, they should. It's big business for them.
Yeah.
But they put their all into promoting this with the NBA.
They have, and I think it's a good, because I mean, who I think when you look nationally in markets and stuff, the Lakers are one of those teams that draws a audience. Yes, if not the team. And so I think that's huge. And then you've got a Pacers team that young, hungry might have. I mean, what Keith said yesterday of, you talk about Steve Nash, Chris Paul, and you could very well go from 1 to 2 to Tyrese Halliburton, and to see a team like that. And I think that's really the team that this in-season tournament was made for. I mean, a team that doesn't really have any Supermax players on their roster. It's a bunch of kind of mid-level guys, kind of rookie contract deals, and they're going to go out and play hard for this cash.
Do we know of any closing festivities? I mean, I know there's not going to be any ring ceremony.
Right. Well, you never know, right?
And I know the Lakers aren't hanging any play-in tournament banner.
There might be a banner.
In-season.
Different, Brett.
The Pacers they've never won the NBA title. They've been in the finals a couple of times, but they had ABA, a lot of success way back in the ABA.
Sure.
But I wonder, with a big show like the NBA is putting on, I think we have that quickly assembled dais on the court tomorrow night for now. Let's go to the court and
present the in-season tournament trophy.
Thank you so much. And let's
the inaugural first time ever. Let's hear it for them.
And a confetti drop?
Yeah, why not?
Do we do that?
Why not?
I don't know,
what's the court
I don't
color?
know about the confetti.
It's blue and red right now, so we got blue and red confetti coming down. I like that idea.
Or snowflake for the holidays?
Sure, even better.
Okay.
I mean, do we have a in-season championship MVP, or is that?
I think it is, Brian. There's an in-season MVP. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the agents are going to monetize that.
Of course.
I need a
yeah.
bonus
it's for
that.
I think it's just for the game though. It's not for the whole thing. It's just for the game.
Right.
One shot tomorrow night. Well, that's going to be the leading scorer.
Yeah, but I mean, Lakers win it tonight.
Let's be honest. No, it's not going to be the leading scorer. If the Lakers win, it's going to be LeBron.
And then
it's going to be LeBron.
I mean,
it's going to be LeBron.
What argument can you make if you are a MJ guy? MJ doesn't have any in-season tournament rings. He doesn't have an in-season MVP.
Does that go on the resume?
Why not?
Yeah, they do go.
We're playing for something, aren't we?
They do go on the resume. But, Brian, I'm just saying, if anything, you just adding on at this point. It's like MJ's established. He's established.
And LeBron's not?
He's established, man. LeBron just building, man. I think it's more of a generational argument.
Just building. He's 39 years old. What are you talking about? Just building.
I think he's pretty established.
Yeah, I think he's pretty established, and I think he's got it all figured out. But that was our some good big numbers today. For both of us. Let me remind you, we're out here at Ace Hardware in Cordova for the Big Green Egg Christmas event, and we got great deals out here on the Big Green Eggs. $100 off large egg, $150 off the extra large egg, $50 off the Egg Genius, and up to $70 off the Egg Expander kit. Get out here. We're doing giveaways. We're giving away tickets to the Liberty Bowl, and we're cooking out here on the Big Green Eggs. I can smell it in here. They're cooking right outside, and I can smell it from where we're sitting. Food from the Big Green Egg, tenderloins, wings, pizzas. So make sure you get out here. Maybe you're just getting off work, about to get off work. Stop by here on your way home. Come in, say hello to us, and get you some really, really good food made on the Big Green Egg. But we need to wrap up this hour and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk Tiger basketball with Jason Munz.
Wow, I feel good. Shopping at DriveMax. 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 You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Step up your wings game at East Coast Wings & Grill. With 60 wing flavors and 7 heat indexes, do you have what it takes to turn the heat on your wings up to insanity? East Coast Wings & Grill is family friendly with a large variety menu to satisfy the whole bunch. Sign up today for their loyalty program and taste the rewards. For every $1 you spend, you collect a point. Earn 100 points and receive a $5 reward. Next to Lowe's off Highway 64 in Bartlett, come try America's best wings at East Coast Wings & Grill.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring Titleist SM9 wedges tuned for precise contact, lower flight, and higher spin. Now $30 off. From Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday special. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
My Westies.
WestiesMemphis.com.
Westies Hot Fudge Pie. By now, you know we're famous for a hot fudge pie. But have you tried the new Cajun Alfredo?
The new spicy on our menu.
Fettuccine noodles, homemade Alfredo, sliced bell peppers, diced green onions, smoked sausage, and Cajun sauteed shrimp? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
What you said?
Often imitated,
Never duplicated.
the new Cajun Alfredo.
Only at the North End's Westies.
Oh my, so good.
We deliver 7 nights a week.
Downtown Memphis.
Oh my.
Open late till 2 a.m.
So good.
Join us December 7, 8, and 9 for our 40th anniversary celebration. Festivities kick off at 6 p.m. nightly. Old friends, new friends, and hot fudge pie.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn, Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Final hour of the week, final hour today. We've had so much fun out here at Ace Hardware in Cordova. Big Green Egg is still pumping it out. Come on out and visit with us. Still plenty of time to register, and we're going to visit with Jason Munns, the beat writer for the Commercial Appeal, covering all things Tigers basketball. And he's presented every Friday by the great people out at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville. Merry Christmas and happy holidays and Happy New Year from everyone at Jim's. And if you're still looking for that perfect place to have that holiday get-together for your office, for your family, small group, big group, whatever it is, let Jim's host. They've done it for over 100 years of celebrations and holiday time, family time, lasting memories. The Terrace family, with their great touch for our great community, recipes that date back to the beginning in downtown to now in Collierville at the railroad tracks at Poplar and Houston Levee. Go online at jimsplacegrill.com. Don't forget the E in grill, and you can purchase the gift cards there, and that's a great holiday gift. Every steak grilled perfectly over an open flame at Jim's. Come to Jim's Place and taste and see and feel the difference. Lunch hours Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Dinner hours Monday through Saturday, 5 p.m. to 9:30. Since 1921, a Memphis landmark. That's a lot of celebrations and Christmases through the years. Hard work, values, and dedication to their great diners. The Terrace family, they've created a memorable dining experience. The lunch menu, the staples like the souffle ma, the shrimp cocktail, crab cakes, all those salad dressings, all homemade. And at dinner time, the calamari, soup, seafood, and the steaks. Their specialty, ribeyes, strips, and fillets. Fantastic bar area to watch and enjoy all the games at Jim's Place Grill in Collierville, and they present Jason Munns every Friday with us. So, Jason Munns, thank you so much.
Yeah.
How's your holiday season going? Have you been able to enjoy it, or have you just spent it at airports?
A little bit. It's busy as always, but no, it's not. I've been able to squeeze in a little bit of joy and merriment this holiday season. Yeah,
good deal. Bryant and I were pretty. Well, I'm going to say we were pretty much a win's a win.
Yeah.
And at Virginia Common, the conversation could have easily gotten ugly after a win. We didn't let that happen. It was a win. I can't imagine it with a loss, but we don't have to imagine that. Now that sets up Sunday, and I think a little freer shot for the Tigers, maybe not even the pressure that they had at VCU.
I think you're probably right. I hope that's how it's, at least I hope that's the air about this whole thing, because yes, there is a game Sunday, and all the cliches, like the only important game on the schedule is the next one and all that stuff. But in reality, there's a 3-game stretch that starts Sunday that could very well determine a lot of things, especially with regard to next March. If you go out and do good things, do some big things against it starts Sunday. It's at Texas A&M, and then you come home to face Clemson next weekend, and then you host Virginia on the 19th of December. That's 3 top 25 teams. Those teams don't appear to be going away anytime soon. Like, we are pretty much a month into the season, and it looks like, things can always change, but it looks like those 3 teams are going to be good. It's very good resume opportunities. 3 consecutive, very nice, good resume opportunities. So if you do really well, you can make up for some slip-ups that you've had. A couple of those 2 slip-ups that they've had against Villanova and Ole Miss, and really do yourself a lot of good with the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee come March. If you don't, well, if let's say you go 1-2 or 0-3 in that 3-game stretch, then you're talking about backs against the wall. It's another one of those seasons where you don't have to be flawless necessarily, but you got to be darn close the rest of the way. So, it's a big stretch upcoming for the Tigers that does begin at Texas A&M, and but I don't think, to your point, you said it's kind of a free shot, and in some respects I agree, because you don't have to go 3-0 against these teams in this stretch. Like, you can certainly, because if you had lost at VCU, you would have had to go 3-0 in this stretch if you want to.
Don't know if you want to make it really count.
If you want to make it really count. So
right. Jason, Jordan Brown was didn't travel with the team to VCU out with an illness, and y'all talked to Coach Hardaway today, and he said that he's still dealing with that illness. He doesn't know if he'll be on the trip down to College Station. What have you heard about Jordan Brown, and what do you expect to happen on Sunday? Do you expect for him to be with the team on Sunday in College Station?
I really haven't heard a whole lot about that situation. Penny's not really given any specifics about exactly what it is he's dealing with, other than just the general, he's sick. He's dealing with an illness. He's not really going into any more detail than that. We talked to him just a few hours ago, and at that time he was still not back with the team. We know that Jordan was struggling before he got sick. We know that he had not played more than 12 minutes in a game, I think, for 4 straight games. I think starting with Michigan in the Bahamas, the first game in the Bahamas, he had not played more than 12 minutes for 4 straight games, and that was the top of the mark. Like, his last 2 games that he played in, he played like 7 and 6 minutes. And his, not only is his playing time diminishing, but his production has also been diminished compared to the first 3 games of the season. So, Penny's saying he's sick. He did not seem to indicate that he knew one way or the other whether Jordan would be at Texas A&M on Sunday. So, that's kind of where we are.
Yeah. Jason Munns, our guest from the Commercial Appeal, your colleague at the Commercial Appeal, columnist Mark Giannotto, wrote and tweeted and talked about there's a behind-the-scenes struggle going on with Memphis basketball right now. What is that struggle, Jason?
I think it's got a lot to do with, here's the deal, and it's not just really speculation. Penny spoke about it after the game at VCU, and some of the players did as well. And we all kind of thought this might happen when he went out and added a bunch of all-stars.
Yep.
When they go out and they pick up these guys who have been used to a certain role at their previous, they're wired a certain way. They're used to getting X amount of touches, used to getting X amount of shots, used to getting, featured. They're featured guys. Jaquan Walton, David Jones, Javon Quinterly, Caleb Mills, even Jordan Brown. Like, you go out and you add a bunch of guys like that, so many guys who are used to that. And not only you add them into the situation with each other, but you also throw in Nick Jourdain, who needs to be involved. You throw in Malcolm Dandridge, who needs to be involved. And it can become, I don't know, delicate, a delicate situation. And it's not really anybody's fault. Again, they're wired a certain way and have been wired a certain way. They've played a certain way for a long time, and it's different. Like last year was different. You had two guys who came in wired that way: Kendrick Davis and DeAndre Williams. Everybody else knew their role, knew their lot in the landscape. Whereas you've got arguably five guys who are
who's had the toughest time adapting to the newer roles this year.
I mean, it's just my. It would be just my opinion to answer that, but I don't think David Jones is hurting. He had 19 field goal attempts at VCU, and rightfully so. He is the leading scorer. He's the leading rebounder. He's shooting it well from three. He's shooting well from the free throw line. Like, he deserves, he deserves to get the touches he's getting. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess, maybe Jordan Brown. He seems like somebody who is used to being more involved in the offense, and he just hasn't been. When he's been on the floor, he just hasn't been very involved, whether that's because of foul trouble or whether it's because, just ineffectiveness, whatever. So, I don't think Caleb Mills is a guy who's got like a big ego or anything like that. I don't know that, I don't know much about Jaquan Walton, but I do know that he is getting a lot of shots. He's just not making many of them the last few weeks. I think I looked it up earlier. He's 10 for his last 38 from the field. Now, he had a huge one in overtime against VCU to start overtime. He had his only shot of the game was a three-pointer that was a big help. But, I don't know. It seems like it's taking some time. And Caleb Mills even said that after the VCU game. It's going to take some time to get this ironed out.
Well, we saw Jonathan Pierre get some more minutes with Jordan Brown being out against VCU, and that's a guy with, if Jordan Brown is out again against Texas A&M, you could see more minutes for him. And he's a guy earlier in the season, I remember talking to you about him because during when y'all were when they met with the media, he kind of talked about how it had been a struggle for him to adapt from going from D2 to D1 and playing at Memphis and practices in some of the earlier games. What have you seen from him and now maybe a new opportunity last game and today that he can maybe take advantage of with this big jump from D2 to D1?
Yeah, I asked Penny about him specifically, like if Jordan Brown wasn't able to go or isn't able to go on Sunday, then, what does that mean? Does that mean that, Malcolm's going to get more time? Nicholas Jourdain is going to get more time. Does that mean that what about Jonathan Pierre? So he sort of bringing him along slowly. He's not a freshman. Jonathan Pierre isn't, but he is a Division I freshman. So there has been a little bit of a learning curve for him, especially defensively. What Penny said today was that, he wanted him to get some time at VCU, and he gave him some. I think he played 8 or 9 minutes. He wanted him to get a little bit more run at VCU because if Jordan Brown isn't able to go, they're going to probably need him against Texas A&M to provide something, to give them something at Texas A&M. And, I thought he played pretty well against VCU. He had a nice putback, offensive rebound, and dunk in that game where, frankly, Memphis was really struggling, sort of attacking the rim in that game. VCU was doing a much better job of that, and I thought Jonathan Pierre showed something. Maybe if he can do stuff like that on a regular basis, then maybe he can help this team, quicker than a lot of people anticipated. So, yeah, I think I'm with you. I think that if Jordan Brown isn't able to go on Sunday, that Pierre is one of the top candidates to fill that void.
Jason, we were on the chemistry, cohesion, esprit de corps, get along front. We were told repeatedly. I know you could go back through your availabilities and find quote after quote in August and September and October availabilities of it going along just perfectly. Just very swimmingly, everything fine. Nothing at all to see here. In fact, I think we could probably even find quotes of really over the top, very hyperbolic of don't know that I've ever seen better chemistry before. That all coming from Coach Hardaway. Now we get here, December 8th before the weekend at A&M, and we've got some questions about it. Everybody knew with this thrown together roster that it had to be contentment, it had to be happiness on this team, because if they find their value, if they find their happy place on February 1st after not having done more with this resume, they've done good things. Mizzou, Michigan, Arkansas is really good, but if they don't add to this, it doesn't matter if you go out there and bulldoze South Florida, Tulane, UAB, Rice, and Wichita State.
Couldn't agree with you more. I will say
a man here at Ace Hardware looked me right now and said, "That's a true statement."
Sure did.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So much that he stopped and listened to what you were saying and then said that's a true statement. Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, well, it is a true statement. I will say, like, in years past, Penny's done that before, and like leading into the season, that everything is harmonious and everybody's getting along and blah, blah, blah. This year, it's almost like he kind of learned from that, because it felt like, it kind of stuck with me the times that we talked to him before the season, that he would say those things and he would go, he would be very, effusive in his remarks about the chemistry and cohesion, but he would always throw in this sort of the tagline that that's now.
It better happen fast. Yeah.
Well, he would also say that's now. Wait till the lights come on. Like, things can change when the lights come on.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't. But sometimes they do. And
wait till you see those shot attempts and that spray chart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And I think that's kind of what's playing out here a little bit. I don't think that it's personal with anybody. I just think that some of these guys are. Culture shock's not the right way to put it, but like some of these guys are just, reality check time. Like it's a natural thing to, think that everything is going to go very well just because they have been since we all met. And then when it doesn't, it's also a natural thing to sort of be like annoyed by it. And I think that's probably where we are more than anything else. I don't think anybody's upset with anybody. I don't think there's any really resentment or anything like that. I think it's just sort of annoyed and getting used to the new normal that they find themselves in. And so, yeah, it's, but you're right. It's they got to get over that. They simply have to get over that. They have to realize that David Jones needs needs a lot of shots, and they have to, they have to sacrifice for, ultimately for the team.
Yeah. Talking to Jason Munz, the Tiger basketball beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. And some news today that Kansas State forward Naquan Tomlin has entered the transfer portal. He's been on a suspension for the start of the season. Now he's in the transfer portal, and Memphis is one of the teams that has reached out to him, that they're interested in him. I think there's some sort of tie on the staff at Memphis with a former coach of his. What have you heard on that? Is that a guy that you could see Memphis going out and adding midseason? And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Tigers still do have an open scholarship because of the whole DeAndre situation, right?
I think they have multiple open scholarships because if you remember Mikey, they came out and said in September that Mikey was not on scholarship. So, I think they've got multiple open scholarships. There is a connection between Tomlin and a member of the coaching staff at Memphis, Jordan Verhulst, who's the director of scouting, was an assistant coach at Chipola. It's either Chipola Community College or Chipola Junior College in Florida, where Tomlin played. So yes, there is a connection. He is he's an impact player, but I think it's a little bit early to sort of like say to know much one way or the other, whether because part of the deal is the reason why Tomlin is not at Kansas State anymore is because there was an altercation at a Manhattan, Kansas bar that involved him, and that's the reason he's not on that team anymore. That it depends on who you ask, but some people say that that pretty much everybody at the university wanted him back. Everybody in the athletic department was okay with letting him back on the team, but the university president stepped in and overruled everybody and said, no, he's got to go.
Right.
But, so there's some baggage there. And I would think that, there would have to be some people who sign off on adding him if he wants to come to Memphis, and if Memphis wants him, there would have to be, some red tape and some hoops to jump through. But, But yeah, he would be. There is room for him, and there is a need for an athletic guy like he is.
Jason, did Coach Rick Stansberry speak out of school, or did he just say out loud what a lot of people were thinking about the poor crowds at the first two games?
I don't think he spoke out of school necessarily. That is such a tough conversation because there's been two home games and it was against Jackson State and Alabama State.
Two nobodies.
Yeah, so there's that, and then there's also people. There's a lot of people that I heard from whenever Rick said what he said, who say that the reason they don't go to games is because of the crime issue, and downtown specifically, obviously, because that's what FedEx Forum is. But so and like, who's going to blame somebody for saying I don't choose to go somewhere because I don't feel safe when I'm there?
That's their business.
Yeah. So I don't think that necessarily the fans are wrong for sort of clapping back at the notion that there should be more fans in the stands for Jackson State and Alabama State, but I also don't think that Rick is wrong for saying that, hey, like, this is Memphis. Like, we've got a head coach in Penny Hardaway who's a legend, and we've got a really good team. And if you're a true fan of a team, you should. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Like, you should come out and support. So I don't know. I see both sides of it, and but it's definitely a tricky subject to really delve into, for sure.
Absolutely. Last thing for you, Jason, before we let you go. Big game on Sunday. I know we still have a couple of days before then, but what do you expect against Texas A&M? What's your score prediction? What should we expect on Sunday?
So I predicted before the season that Texas A&M would win this game.
Okay.
My scouting report came out this morning, and my score prediction came out this morning, and if we've learned anything over the past couple of seasons, and I know this is a different team, a different roster and everything, but it's still the same head coach, that Memphis plays up and down to its competition. And so, I don't think that Memphis is going to be, it would be surprising to me if they lost by, say, double digits. So I think my score prediction was 70-69 or something like that, or maybe it was 80-79 or something like that. And I got Texas A&M winning. And a big reason for that is Memphis. We know how much they rely on their defense to create offense. Texas A&M doesn't turn the ball over. They protect the ball really, really well. And the other thing is, we know Memphis is highly susceptible to giving up offensive rebounds, and that's just against other teams. Well, Texas A&M is not an other team when it comes to offensive rebounding. They are second in the country in offensive rebounding. Okay, that's got doomsday scenario written all over it, if you ask me. So that's not saying that Memphis can't beat this team. I just think that they're going to have to play a lot better. They're going to have to rebound a lot better, specifically, if they are going to win this game. I don't see them giving up. If they go out and give up 15 to 20 offensive rebounds, I don't see them winning. But if they get their act together and box out and the ball bounces their way a few times, I could see Memphis winning. But I think the more likely outcome is a loss.
Yeah, well, it should be a fun one on Sunday. Jason, thanks so much as always for joining us, and we'll do it again next Friday.
All right, cool. Thanks, y'all.
Thanks, Jason. Jason Munz from the Commercial Appeal. He joins us every single Friday to talk Tiger basketball. And Brett, there is a report out from Hitman Hoops Media, who is affiliated with Bluff City Sports and that media group, that's reporting that Jordan Brown will not be back with the team, is what he's hearing. I have heard similar things. I just have not felt comfortable saying it. So that sounds like someone else that has said it, and we'll see. Obviously, I really don't listen to anything unless Jason Munz says it. So
what is the issue?
I've heard multiple things. Yes, mainly that. Mainly that is what I've
me calling him a stiff Monday.
No, well, maybe it wasn't just you. Maybe it was everybody calling him a stiff. It seemed like everybody was in that same group of.
Gosh, I said Javon Quinterly wasn't Kendrick, and he was a stiff. I hope that didn't cause.
Yeah, but I mean, something to monitor, because obviously, we could very well be getting reports. I will say this account that tweeted, that was the same account that tweeted that first, saying that he wouldn't be at the VCU game. So
2 games out of a potential about 40. Is he returning any NIL?
That's a good question.
I bet not.
Gotta maybe try to get something back. But before we get to a break, I got to tell you about Hewlett and Dunn Boot and Jean on the historic square in Collierville since 1961. Charles Hall, he started working there in his teens, and now with his wife Laura, they own the place, known for all the boots, but also clothing, accessories, and a cap for any team in any season. They've got western wear, work boots, safety toe, soft toe, rubber boots, boots for every single occasion available at Hewlett and Dunn. And from head to toe, they have you covered with every brand imaginable, like Ariat, Dan Post, Anderson Bean. Whether for men or women, they've got it. And they've got men's and women's clothing, like jeans, pants, shirts, shorts, outerwear, and the best duck head collection you'll find. Charles and Laura Hall invite you to 111 North Center Street on the Square in Collierville, or to their website, HewlettDunn.com. And if you're looking for some accessories, they've even got that at Hewlett & Dunn. Hats, sunglasses, boot care products in every area, team snapback or cool hats you can think of, whether it be the Tigers, Mississippi State, UT, Ole Miss, or the Razorbacks, they've got it. And for travel, their bag selection is top-notch. HewlettDunn.com, but please head out to Collierville. They've got the town square all decorated for Christmas. It looks beautiful out there. So head out to Collierville, give them a visit, and say hello at 111 North Center Street on the Square in Collierville at Hewlett & Dunn. Well, we need to get to a break, but before we do that, I remind you we're at Ace Hardware in Cordova through the end of our show at 6 o'clock for their Big Green Egg Christmas event. They've got a bunch of Big Green Egg products, and we're grilling out here. We're cooking food from 5 to 6. Still time to get out here. Tenderloin, wings, pizza. I saw some people in here earlier with food. It looks good. It smells good. So get out here. You still got some time to make it out here to Cordova Ace Hardware. Some great deals on the Big Green Eggs as well. Let's get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for our First National Bank and Trust Friday football forecast.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. If you need a new roof for your home or business, we hope to hear from you and will work hard to earn your business. We are experts and certified in residential and commercial roofing, siding, and gutter installation. I have been serving the Memphis, and now with two of my sons working with me, we plan to be here for years to come. So if you need a roof, please give us a call. On a personal note, what a great time it is to be a Memphis sports fan. With the Grizzlies and the Redbirds and 901 FC, not to mention Tigers football and basketball, it's going to be a fun year. Thanks to Coach Silverfield and Coach Hardaway and their staffs for their dedication to the student and athletes, the University of Memphis, the City of Memphis, and us fans. Fiveash Roof Services, a proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
When building the 2023 RDX, we decided to raise our standards. That means a 272 horsepower VTEC turbo engine, standard. Acura Watch advanced safety and driver assistance technology. Yep, standard. Alexa built in, also standard. The 2023 RDX. Raise your standards. Acura. Precision crafted performance.
Visit Acura of Memphis to learn more about the Acura RDX.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-364-1031 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-364-1031. That's 800-364-1031. What do you have to lose? Call 800-364-1031. Again, 800-364-1031.
The Paradiso Cinema Grill and IMAX offers moviegoers a truly immersive cinematic experience. IMAX's cutting-edge technology will make you believe that you are part of the action. Visit Malco.com to reserve seats to the Mid-South's premier IMAX theater.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Friday football forecast from First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. Real estate isn't something you purchase or develop or desire. It's something you appreciate, respect, and know. With real estate, there's no gray area. You either know it or you don't. First National Bank and Trust, a proud division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. They've known it since their beginning in 1886. Clients depend on First National Bank because they know real estate. Brooks Winchester, Bill Samish, and many more can assist you in your acquisition of that hunting land, farmland, a construction project. Let First National Bank and Trust make your dreams a reality. 775 Ridge Lake Boulevard, Suite 140 in Memphis, 901-498-5763, or the office in Collierville, or online at fnbtmemphis.com. For commercial real estate, residential construction, or recreational and agriculture financing, let First National Bank and Trust help you. They're a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, where I have had an account, been a friend, and been a customer my entire life.
Mostly NFL this Friday afternoon, but we will have the Army-Navy game. As I mentioned earlier, my big number, they started playing in 1890. First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas, been here since 1886, and now firmly ensconced in West Tennessee and part of the fabric of the community of West Tennessee, and certainly of Shelby County and all of West Tennessee. Stable, secure, solid, reliable, and consistent customer confidence is the cornerstone at First National Bank and Trust. And we have been so proud all year to be with them again for Friday football forecast. It starts tomorrow. Usually really cold at the Army-Navy game. I don't think they're calling for that at 2 o'clock tomorrow on CPS. It's in Foxborough. Army, a 3.5-point favorite over Navy. Everybody likes the under, but we're not picking over and unders, Bryant. We're picking winners. Who you like, Army or Navy?
I like Navy in this one. I felt really good when Bruce came on and said he also likes Navy in this one. I don't really have a real reason. It seems like everybody and their mother is on Army in this one. I think if you polled 100 people, they would, I'm sure 95 or 9,900 of them would say Army is the better team, but this is a rivalry game. Throw the records out. You know it's going to be close. If that total's sitting at 28, it can't be many points if you're going to think it's going under. So I think they can keep it within this 3.5, so I'll take Navy.
My dad was in the Army, so give me the Army minus 3.5. Sunday in the NFL noon on CPS. Atlanta, 2.5-point favorite at home at the Dome over Tampa Bay. This is a real good rivalry and a good rivalry division.
Yes.
That NFC South. Atlanta minus 2.5. Give me the Falcons.
I'm also going to go the Falcons in this one. Don't really have a reason for it, but I'm just going to take the Falcons in this one.
And the Falcons right now, they said, is the winner of that division in the playoffs. That would be a home game. They would host a home game. Noon on CBS on Sunday, Cleveland minus 3.5 over Jacksonville. A lot of different quarterbacks in play for this one. Not exactly what we thought in the preseason, not the two Clemson quarterbacks we thought in the preseason, but having to make do. Cleveland, 3.5 over Jacksonville in Cleveland on Sunday. Your pick.
I'm going to take Jacksonville in this one. I don't know who the quarterback will be, but, we
won't be Trevor Lawrence.
Probably won't be Trevor Lawrence, but, hey, what kind of great value could we be getting if he pulls the little switcheroo and is out there on Sunday? But, I think we've seen a lot of backup quarterbacks this year come in and be very successful in their systems, and so I think we could see the same thing on Sunday.
Noon on Fox on Sunday, Baltimore minus 7.5 at home against the Rams. Rams 6-6, Baltimore 9-3. We know what Lamar can do, and we know what upright Matthew Stafford can do, but will he be upright?
Yeah, well, that's the question, and I don't think so. I'm taking the Ravens minus 7.5, even though it's a big line. You need 2 scores in this one. I'll still take Baltimore.
I'm going to take the Rams just because that 7.5. We know how many NFL games fall on 3 and 6 and 7. So I'm going to take that half. 3:25 Sunday afternoon on CBS. They played one of the all-time NFL playoff classics at Arrowhead a few years back. Patrick Mahomes against the great quarterback Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills. Kansas City 1.5-point favorite. Give me KC.
I'm also going to go Kansas City in this one, and really I think 2 good teams, and I think 2 teams that maybe not living up to their hype this year. I know a lot of people have question marks around Kansas City. I think the same thing could be said for the Buffalo Bills, but I'll take Kansas City in this one.
My NFL lock for the weekend, give me Detroit in Chicago at Soldier Field. Detroit minus 3.5 against the Bears.
My lock is going to be the Texans minus 3.5 over the Jets. We know who's starting at quarterback for the Jets.
We know who's starting for the Texans.
And we know who's starting for the Texans. But does anybody want to be the starting quarterback for the Jets right now? It doesn't seem like it.
The guy that is said he didn't want to.
Said he didn't want to. Zach Wilson basically said, "Please, no, not me again." And so, I think this could be a big-time Texans win and a huge win for this young team. Brett, we're sitting here with the Texans. It doesn't matter who they beat. This is a young team with a lot of new pieces. They're just trying to put together wins, and this one could be a real momentum-building win.
Your NFL shock.
My shock this weekend, Brett, I go back to this seemingly every single week. I'm going to go with the Colts plus 2.5 over the Bengals. We know what Jake Browning did last week in that big-time showing against Jacksonville, but I just don't know if he can do that twice. Short week for him, and I don't know if that lightning strikes twice.
My NFL shock, I'm going to take the Eagles against our Cowboys. Your Cowboys. I'm no Cowboy fan.
Wow. Brett, I'm speechless.
Eagles plus 3.5. I jumped the fence.
Not a
right
good
there,
thing
Johnny.
to be on the radio, but I'm speechless.
I love it, Brett.
Now.
I love it.
I jumped the fence.
I hate
it.
I turned on him like studio wrestling.
I love it, Brett.
Jeez.
I love it. I love it.
Give me the Eagles plus 3.5 on Sunday in Dallas. We'll pick Monday Night Football. 2 games on Monday night, and we'll have our choice of either game on Monday night. But that's our Friday football forecast. We have it every Friday afternoon during football season. We will through the Super Bowl. And it's brought to you by First National Bank and Trust, a division of First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas. For all your real estate needs, commercial, ag, hunting, recreational, contact them at fnbt.com or call 901-498-5763. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from everyone at First National Bank and Trust.
And we're giving some giveaways out here. We're at Cordova Ace Hardware for their Big Green Egg Christmas event, and we've got some giveaways. We've already given away
the big draw time.
The big draw time one where they were standing right here when we pulled the names during the break, and we were able to give it to them. Tygel Gibson was here and won our first bag, but it's a bag, $100 worth of seasonings and sauces from Big Green Egg. Our second bag full of all sorts of goodies from Big Green Egg. Clifford Mears is our winner. So Clifford,
we'll contact you.
Yeah, we will contact you for that prize. Congratulations! Like I said, $100.
Unless you're in the building.
So unless you're here, and then come on down. Maybe they're outside eating that good food off the Big Green Egg. Great event here at Cordova Ace Hardware. We've really enjoyed it. And Brett, we're about to get to a break here, and we're going to be on to the weekend. And I know we're not doing bankroll right now because we don't have the line out.
Right, for Sunday. We'll have the honor system working for sure.
Where do you think that line opens up at?
I'm thinking it's going to be A&M around 4.5.
Yeah, that's seemingly. I mean, I've heard Dave. We talked about it today. I heard John earlier today talk about it. Was
that consensus?
It's pretty much consensus.
I swear I didn't hear either.
No, I believe you, and I think.
And I don't listen to anything but our station.
That's right. So I'm surprised you missed it. But I think Dave said about 6.
Mm-hmm. Dave is really good at this.
He's really good. He thought it'd be about Texas A&M -6. John said about 4.5 or 5. So I think it will be around there, and it's going to be a tough battle for the Tigers. But I like what Jason Munn said, and he's 100% spot on. This team plays up to the competition. It can play down to competition.
It can, and that is a part of a cobbled-together team in this early period of the season. Look, I think plenty of the Tigers are going to be fine by February. We just know those teams that are playing in February, there's not enough zing there to move you on any seed line, like I said the other day. And this may sting. There are going to be a lot of nights the Tigers win, and the next day, why'd the net go down?
Right.
It's because of who they're playing.
We saw that a lot last year as well, and it's going to be even more this year.
We did, Brian, and that's just the neighborhood that the Tigers are now in conference-wise. It can't be helped right now. And now the breaking news of a player that they really were counting on, it sounds like he's out of here. And he barely played a few more games than James Wiseman.
Yeah, really. And, I mean, still very limited reporting on that. I haven't seen anybody.
You trust the veracity of it, though?
From what I've heard, yes. But I will leave it to the beat writers. We have two really, really good beat writers for the two papers we have here.
People used to joke you're really not dead until the AP writes your
That's
obituary.
right, yes.
Until Jason Munz puts it out.
That's right.
I'm going to withhold.
I'm the exact same, but like I said, everything I've heard kind of lines up with kind of the early reportings right now. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day, and when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. We'll wrap up this week with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Did you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be a sign that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Taking Metamucil every day can help. Metamucil fiber powders help promote your daily digestive health using a plant-based fiber called psyllium. The gelling action of this special fiber traps and removes waste so you can feel lighter and more energetic. Metamucil, promoting digestive health for a better you. Learn more at Metamucil.com. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My Westies.
WestiesMemphis.com.
Westies Hot Fudge Pie. By now, you know we're famous for a hot fudge pie. But have you tried the new Cajun Alfredo?
The new spicy on our menu.
Fettuccine noodles, homemade Alfredo, sliced bell peppers, diced green onions, smoked sausage, and Cajun sauteed shrimp? Are you kidding me?
Wow. What you said? Often imitated?
Never duplicated.
The new Cajun Alfredo.
Only at the North End's Westies.
Oh
my, so good. We deliver 7 nights a week.
Downtown Memphis.
Open late till 2 a.m.
So good.
Join us December 7, 8, and 9 for our 40th anniversary celebration. Festivities kick off at 6 p.m. nightly. Old friends, new friends, and hot fudge pie.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Jean Company in Collierville. Once again, here are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand?
This is for all the biggest crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye. Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, I learned this just a couple of hours ago. Warner Brothers Discovery Sports PR put out, obviously, they own TNT, TBS, True TV, all of that Warner Brothers does. And for their sports, this was reported earlier today. TNT Sports' coverage of Lakers-Pelicans last night delivered the most watched NBA regular season game since opening week, averaging 2.2 million viewers across TNT, TBS, True TV, and Max.
That's a big number.
Now, this is the even bigger part of it. Viewership for the Lakers IST, so in-season tournament, semifinals win, was plus 66% over TNT's average December game telecast from last season. So very clear that the in-season tournament had enough intrigue to get people that last year were not watching NBA regular season games in December, whether it be for NFL or college football, whatever. They just weren't watching these games in December. But because it was the in-season tournament, because there was something on the line, because of the newness of it, a lot more people tuned in. I think that's a huge win for the NBA and for this in-season tournament idea. Now, one thing I am curious of, we got to remember, these NFL games on Thursday night are now on Prime only. So I'm curious how much that impacts. I wish we could have a survey of, did you watch the in-season tournament game because you didn't have Prime Video and couldn't watch the NFL game? I'd be really curious.
And remember, last weekend for SEC championship game and for college game day, 3 million viewers for game day.
Yeah.
For a pregame show against this hype machine.
Absolutely.
For the NBA in-season tournament. What I learned today, only thing in doubt now is the margin of Jaden Daniels' Heisman Trophy victory. 3,812 yards passing, 40 touchdowns, 40 interceptions, 1,134 yards rushing, 10 touchdowns. He was second in the SEC in rushing. I don't care who it's against,
I don't either.
I know who he plays week in and week out, and I know what I saw in the LSU 55-49 loss in Oxford, and I had my mind pretty made up from that point on.
Yeah, no, I think that is, I mean, he's special. I mean, we saw it week in and week out, what he was doing every single game. And, Brett, I know I've heard a lot of people, I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about who they would vote for Heisman. And somebody who was a Michael Penix voter tried to make the case of, well, you look at who he is doing this against, and it's against Georgia State. Look at how many yards he put up against Georgia State. Look how many yards he put up against Grambling. I think there was another either FCS or lower tier FBS school in there. But at the end of the day, it's special what he's doing. And I remember when we were doing our look back at the weekend in the SEC, multiple weeks when he was playing SEC opponents, that we would go, look at these numbers that he is putting up. So I think he's going to win tomorrow night. And I think
it would be Brian Kelly's first player to win the Heisman Trophy. He never had one at Notre Dame.
That's a really good point. It would be. What I could have done without is all of, and Brett, you brought up a really good point. I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, about the lack of reporting, sourcing that these reporters are getting from Shohei Ohtani and his free agency.
His feelings were hurt.
Yes, and it seems like we're getting to the point in this free agency where we're just grabbing straws. I mean, we're trying to do anything and everything to try to break something. I mean, I have seen today.
Bank routing, tracking.
Just today, and it's 5:51 right now, Brett, so it hadn't even been a complete day. I've heard that today's the day Shohei is going to make his decision. Then an hour later, today is not the day he's going to make his decision. I've heard that Shohei Ohtani is favored to go to Toronto. Then I heard that he's on his way to Toronto. He's already in Toronto. He's meeting with Toronto today. Then hours later, I'm hearing he is not anywhere near Toronto. He is in California. So the reporting has just been awful on this. We're on Shohei watch now because nobody knows where he is, because everyone just wants to be first to break this story. He's going to make a decision when he has, and I respect Shohei for being so tightly. I mean, the biggest free agent we've seen in forever, and he's just, I'm going to make a decision when I make a decision.
And it's got all the baseball writers mad because he's not giving it to any of them.
Yeah.
And nobody can win any prizes and any pat yourself on the back club.
Oh, he was first to get it.
If nobody has
That's
it.
right.
What I could have done without, we will see the crowd tonight at FedEx Forum.
Yeah, we will.
An add-in game from the in-season tournament. This wasn't part of advanced sales. This will be a really good, one test. It's not the final test, but a test case to just see how into this team people really are. But the people will really be into this team when its superstar gets back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and we're only a handful of games away, Brett. I mean, it's going to be very quick it's going to be very quick that we get that superstar back, and the Grizzlies, I'm sure we'll get back to it when that happens. But, I'm curious, talking about Major League Baseball, and we have some time still left. I heard a report, obviously winter meetings happening right now in Major League Baseball for in Nashville. I heard a report that Jerry Reinsdorf, the owner of the Chicago White Sox, met with the mayor of Nashville, and now people thinking that maybe some sort of
we
Nashville.
all but got the Tampa St. Pete market because of Jerry Reinsdorf a long time ago, always threatening to go to that marketplace.
Yeah, oh, jeez.
And we almost got that one moved. There's no way the Southsiders could move, could they?
I don't think so.
Could.
I mean, I guess they could. I mean, there's always. It seems like every couple of years there's a story out.
Their crowds have really been affected by the crime there,
and
it's
really become a problem with attendance.
And you can't tell people, hey, everything's okay when they see and feel differently.
Yeah,
that it's not okay.
Absolutely,
not at all. And where are you beaming to this weekend?
I'm going to beam. Oh, man, this is the weekend to beam just around a college
Vegas
basketball
wouldn't be
game.
bad.
Vegas wouldn't be bad, but I'm going to beam. I mean, beam me tomorrow morning to this UT and Illinois game. That's going to be a really fun game tomorrow morning. Beam me on Sunday to the Tigers game. I know Ole Miss also in action this weekend. Arkansas, big game against Oklahoma. So some really good, even though we don't have college football, some really good college basketball games. So just beam me all over the place for college basketball.
Beam me to Lower Manhattan for the magic moment tomorrow night when they say in the winner of the 2023 Heisman Trophy from LSU, Jaden Daniels.
Yep, and I think that's what's going to happen. I'd be shocked if it was anybody other than Jaden Daniels. I would be, like I said, 3 hours
How many
ago.
passes attempted in Army-Navy? Will that be a prop? Will that be out there?
Brett, I was going to bring this up because I was going to look it up, and I didn't have time to look it up. Remember when Memphis played Navy? And we were all talking about this is a different Navy, a new coach, different Navy offense. They're going to pass the ball a little more than we're familiar with. I think there's going to be – I think if someone set an over-under of pass attempts, I think it would go over, and I think there's going to be a lot of people surprised tomorrow at how many times Navy throws the ball. Now, I haven't watched any Navy football since the Tigers game, so I can't tell you if that has continued over the season or if that stopped somewhere midway because it wasn't working.
Tigers basketball deep in the heart of Texas on Sunday afternoon against the Texas Aggies on the campus of Texas A&M in College Station. We know it will be without Jordan Brown. I hope people didn't buy a jersey too soon for him, and we'll see if he's the only one because it sounds like there's other discontent on the team. NFL on Sunday, college basketball weekend, and I'm headed to FedEx Forum right now.
Yeah, I think a little concerning, that story we've talked about a couple of times from Mark Giannotto, but, I think it makes sense that when you add this many new players and you have a lot of newness, bringing in a lot of all-stars. These are guys that were the leading scorers of their teams last year. It doesn't shock me that there was a little, there are some kind of friction between this team, and hopefully it doesn't carry over very much. And maybe if Jordan Brown is no longer on this team for the rest of the season, I hope that's the last one. I wish him luck. And hopefully the Tigers can find somebody that can give them minutes, because you're not going to be able to rely on Malcolm Dandridge to play 25-30 minutes a game at that center position. But that's all the time we have today. I want to remind you this weekend, tomorrow, we have the AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School All-Star Game. That's going to start at 2:30 on Sunday. Ole Miss at UCF at 2:30. Then Eagles at Cowboys. That's going to be the Sunday night game at 6:30. So a lot going on our airwaves. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you again Monday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, SIG, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals, and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
I feel good shopping at Drive Max.